Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the
Welcome. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me, and welcome to another episode of Politics and Wellness. And I am your host, of course, Captivating Christian. And as always, it is a great Tuesday when I get to see you all and we get to talk about what else but politics, news, health, and wellness. And we got a lot of it today to make you laugh. And also YouTube stuff and movies and whatever else you're watching, whatever's going on, just so we can change up the rhythm a little bit. And without further ado, of course, we want to welcome all of you great people, but also, Brother Nate, let me know when you're ready so we can get this party started and start the day. All right. So it wouldn't be a day without a little applause going on. Hey.
Hey.
How you doing, sir?
Doing quite well, sir. And yourself?
Great. I'm good. You might see me occasionally grabbing a bite over here, so don't, not starving, but yeah, been running and ripping, didn't really eat today, so I am starving, so this will be a bit of a, what they call it, a mukbang thing, and yeah, all rolled into one today. How's your week been?
It's been quite fine, and
all right.
Fine, and yours?
Good. I had a family little getaway this weekend in good old Sandusky, Ohio. Never been, first time. Cedar Point was different. I'm usually the roller coaster one, but nobody wanted to do the roller coasters this year. So I mean,
I wonder why.
I wasn't mad because usually I am always the one. Granted, being me comes with benefits, and the benefit is, who waits in amusement park for 3-4 hours getting on rides? We'd be done in amusement parks with an hour and a half, ready to roll. So, and that's even sometimes riding a roller coaster twice. So, trust and believe, I'll be in and out. But no, nobody wanted to do that, so it was just water park stuff.
Water park and food lines.
Yes, yeah. It was quite interesting. Yeah, it was. I tell you a funny thing. The resort is African themed in a redneck town.
Oh, those crackers were mad.
Yeah. I'm sure. Until I'm sure
you won't telling their kids you won't be working there.
Right. I'm sure until the money came in for the town, then it's probably started to change their thought process a little bit, but you can kind of tell that they still aren't fans of that being there. But the artwork and the sculptures and everything surrounding it are absolutely beautiful. Like I can't knock it for that. It is absolutely beautiful. But it's just a bit different. Like, why is this here? It just didn't look like it fit at all.
It's a totally out of place.
Yeah.
Did you hear off in the distance? MAGA forever.
Right. In the distance, you don't gotta go too far.
MAGA
You don't
forever.
gotta go too far to see a flag hanging or something, and you're just like, did you forget you already live in the United States? Like, you don't need to, like you're not an embassy. It's not,
This is Trump country.
Right. But that was interesting. But a shout out to my family if you're listening, watching, or will be watching later. I had a great time. Great time. A lot of drinking, a lot of fun. They tried to get me to do karaoke, but I don't know.
Oh, you don't sing?
No, I don't. I do, but I don't like singing just random for no reason, just blah. So I don't know. Maybe I'll grow out of that, but yeah. Anyways, hopefully you guys had a great week and you were productive at the start of this week. So much has been going on. So let's get started. And if you see me looking up, I'm looking up at the TV because, of course, Maryland, this was your primary election day today. So for those of you who live in the DMV, and I believe Georgia as well.
Yeah, Georgia as well. Mm-hmm.
Your primary day started today, meaning that you got to pick your candidates that will be in the main battle or the main fight come November on election day.
Yeah.
So if you didn't pick them, whoever you stuck with come November, that's who.
I was last minute mailing, dropping my shit in the mail.
Right.
Last minute.
Yeah. No, I feel you. All right. So let's some points. Yeah, no, I get you. All right. Welcome, Patty Duke. Let me just say hello to everybody in the room real quick before we get started. Of course,
Patty.
Auntie Melissa, how are you?
Yeah, girl, take that rest, girl.
Right.
You gotta back away from this stuff.
Yeah, you do.
Hey,
what's going on, Babs? How are you? Nice to see you. And everybody else in, we don't call it the bushes nor the clouds here. You are in the balcony of the CAP building. So thank you for joining. And
who's Joe?
Wait,
think about it. You see a little van on the bike with the ambulance and death right behind it.
You know what? I'm not even going there. And without further ado, let's get all into all of this with, we don't really have any news updates, but just the news. So let's just. All right. Once again, thank you guys for being here. And let's get started. I really don't have any news updates, but if I missed something, you are more than welcome to chime in and let me know what, if anything, that I missed. Of course, you all. Let's start with breaking news. All right. So breaking news today. You said what?
I said, I guess that must be, it's a good thing then. How often do we actually have it where it's relatively quiet?
Right. That's for the news cycle. Ain't that interesting? So this was breaking news, not really an update, but breaking that the House of Representatives on Tuesday, which is today, of course, passed a bill to codify the right to same-sex marriage and interracial marriage. Now, of course, as you know, the Supreme Court reversed Roe v. Wade, which, of course, when people think, it's just about abortion, so much larger than abortion, it actually opened the floodgates to reverse a lot of Supreme Court rulings, like same-sex marriage, like interracial marriage, also, what else? Brown versus the Board of Education. I can go on and on and on and on and on about the changes that have opened up affirmative action, due to this overturning Roe v. Wade. Of course, you know the memo, if you didn't know, the memo that Uncle Clarence Thomas had wrote basically saying that other things were coming down the pipeline to be changed pretty soon. And so House of Representatives, along with, I guess, the president, I don't really know what he's doing at this point.
He doesn't know. I hate to tell you that, but if you haven't already guessed,
there's no need to tell me that. I already know. I know. But you know, at least try to put something together to secure same-sex marriage and the right to interracial marriage. However, down party lines, this legislation was definitely Democrats on one side, Republicans on the other. It even received support from Liz Cheney of Wyoming, who has recently, of course, you know, being on the committee that is investigating January 6th. January 6th, she, you know, is for this. So who herself is a gay woman. So, you know, it's a bit confusing, but it's not. If you get where I'm coming with that.
Liz is a les?
Yes, Liz is a les. Oh, she definitely
She doesn't have a thick neck. But anyhow. I like thick necks.
She doesn't give you Rosie O'Donnell. No, she doesn't give you Rosie O'Donnell. But then again, we don't know how she looks outside of, you know.
Well, yes, that is true.
The political thing she got going on, but because she could look a bit, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wasn't gunning for it.
Right. I mean, but that even goes to show the ability for those who are LGBT and white in that spectrum to actually vote in party lines against things that, hey, affect you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You think you're gonna be exempt from having your own marriage? If she is married, that I don't know. But if she is married, you would vote against having your own marriage avoided.
You kick your own self in the teeth.
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, you know, and hell, that means even if you want to be married, maybe you don't want to be married no more. You're just like, hell with it. I don't know, but again, this opens the door for a lot of other things. Later on, we'll be talking about a lot of other situations that Roe v. Wade, or the turning of Roe v. Wade, otherwise known as Dobbs versus Jackson, last month, the fallout with everything. And this goes to health care for individuals and a whole lot of things. So it is really important that we start paying attention. And, you know, I get a lot of people are just, you know, hell bent on the religious aspect of what they think Roe v. Wade was or what it provided, but it was so much larger than that. And the fact that the church or the religious right or religious right, left, or whatever you want to call them, were able to turn this whole argument just based on morality when it, you know, kicks people who are down, who use it for many different things. Finding their genome patterns for diseases that they may have that they don't want to pass on to their children. There was an article that I'll go over briefly that talks about that. That got stopped due to the turning of Roe v. Wade. So it's a whole lot of stuff. And excuse me if I'm not reading the chat, because I just like to get through this first and I'll get back to that. But let me know if something pops up at you, because I see you smiling, so I know something's funny. Other news, Governor Hot Wheels. Okay. I don't know what more people need to know that a lot of politicians, not all, but majority of them, really don't give a goddamn about you all. All they care about is, once they're in office, keeping the people who put them in office, as far as their financial backers, happy. They could give a goddamn about the voters, even though a lot of times, you know, you feel like oh, they believe in, I believe in them, they believe in me, we can do this together. I put you in office to do something. Absolutely not. Governor Hot Wheels, of course, did not attend near funeral of any of the Uvalde victims. Not one. Now, some may say, well, it's not his responsibility, but it is. As the governor of the state, he is the president of the state. Just like you would expect your president to be at any crisis or any natural disaster, as many presidents have gone. Even Trump went to Puerto Rico to throw paper towels at the people. So it's the same thing. So the fact that the governor didn't even will his ass to not one funeral says a lot. You can check out that article as well. Again, not surprising. Beto O'Rourke, other members of legislation who are either running for election, have seats either in Congress or state, have gone to visit the family or the families of this mass murder, but he has not. Him, nor Cruz, nor any Republican from that state has visited any of the family members, which I think is a disservice to the people. Because a lot of those people vote for them. And, they always think it's just a Republican thing. It's a Republican Democrat thing. But the reality is a lot of those voters vote Republican or conservative values. So to slap them in the face with the disrespect is, it's kind of shameful. But again, it's the type of, beast you grow that, the chickens come home to roost, as the great Malcolm X once said. Your thoughts on that? I'm sorry, I didn't even ask you about your thoughts on the first one, but go ahead.
I mean, it's him. It's him in Texas.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised.
Right.
But as more is uncovered, I just find the whole thing really, really disturbing.
Yeah. It really is.
And the only thing you can do is just sit back and see what else comes out.
Yeah, but it's like sitting there watching, shit fly up the wall, or the scene in The Color Purple when Albert went to go make us some breakfast and Suge threw the breakfast plate at the wall. It's like that. Why do we have to sit around and wait for destruction or wait for a politician to actually do something? We actually have the power as voters to push these people out of office. And the sad part of that is that it has grown so, one side on this side, the other people on this side, that people actually sit in power for long periods of time where they actually don't do anything. They serve their self and their own self-interest. I cannot rock with Governor Hot Wheels. But I will say this to the people of Texas: make sure you got a generator, because that power is about to be shut down. Okay.
Have them babies make some paper fans.
Yeah, because they're already
going to need it down there.
They're already having a problem with their grid. We talked about it last week, and I came across an article this week already talking about it. So definitely, you want to do that. You sent me this article, and I thought it was pretty funny with your comment behind it. But you did talk about it last week, and if you weren't spot on the money, but Marco Rubio of Florida proposes legislation for child support payments to start, get this, at conception. So there's no need to wait for the baby to come, because the paycheck will already be coming out. Yeah. So Unborn Child Support Act, which is a sneaky way for Republicans to outlaw abortion rights completely. So, yeah. So Marco Rubio and other Republicans, the Republican out of North Dakota, have introduced a new piece of legislation requiring fathers to pay child support starting at the first month in which the child is conceived.
There's some shit I've never heard. Obviously these men know nothing about anything actually.
But I mean, you in situations like that, you don't know who the father is. That's one that could be in question. Then,
whether or not it's a false alarm,
right?
Now suppose the child, for whatever reason, doesn't make it to term,
right?
But you pay you
paying into child support.
Mm-hmm.
You paying into support, which is supporting the mother. Does he then get to go after that money and get it back?
Oh no!
But this is this is what I'm saying, that they just throw stuff out here, and it's like, well, did you really think about it? The act would actually change part of the Social Security Act, which ensured that child support for unborn children is collected and distributed under the Child Support Enforcement Program. This passes pregnancy under the mother, which has choice requirement for child support payments during the pregnancy. So yeah, the court could order a biological father of an unborn child to pay. Yeah, so I don't know. This is just crazy. All I know for one thing, if this happens, there will be a lot of anal sexing going on. So
yes,
get prepared.
But you can't do that either. You can't do that either.
Right. Well, get prepared.
You can't be doing the sodomies.
Get prepared. It's gonna be a lot of something. I just don't. There's no way to determine DNA.
Not at that stage.
Not at that stage. So, somebody will be paying, and all these, remember these Maury situations where the people are like, you're not the father, you're not the father, you're not the father. Imagine all these men paying and then 9 months of payments or 8 months, however long it takes. What is it, 9 months? But it roughly can be somewhere around 8 to 9 months. So you done paid 8 or 9 months of hundreds of dollars. For what? To come to find out that you actually are not the father, and then you can't get your money back anyway? Come on, y'all. There's gotta be.
There's gonna be a lot of tonsillitis out there.
Right. just boxing with your top. Just hitting it.
Right. Let's work on that. Let's work on that gag reflex.
Right. Work on that throat. Work on that throat.
What did I say? There's gonna be and for all the gay men.
Yeah, what did you say?
It's going to be a big influx of gay men will be able to be, what I say, singing the national anthem.
All the trades will be singing the national anthem.
All the trade, because you get a trade, you get some trade, and you get
right. But that's what I'm saying. It's going to be a lot of anal things going on.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of butt fucking going on.
Well, speaking of butt fucking, just to lighten the load, being go out of
I'm going to say real fast.
Go ahead.
I lost it. VMW. Yeah, be prepared just in case you have to get a generator or at least a little small battery backup for your phone.
Mm-hmm. Right.
She's down in Texas. Yeah. Because you're definitely going to need it.
Yeah.
Because we're not even at the hottest part of summer.
No. August hasn't even hit yet.
Yeah, August isn't hit,
and they're already having problems with the grid.
Yeah, already having problems with the grid, and half of the Midwest is burning.
Yeah,
already.
Yeah.
And how about these storms we've been getting here?
Right.
They have been ridiculous.
Right. We just left as we were leaving, it was a storm. I mean, it was coming down like really bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Patty, there's gonna be a lot of licking and sucking going on. That's all you're gonna get.
Right. Now, for those of you who may be a little you might want to turn away, but I do know that there will be a lot of this going on if this law gets passed. So just prepare yourself.
So we're heading back to hand air.
Nope, that wasn't that one. Wrong one. Where is it? There wasn't that one either. It's the other one. Oh, it's not even here. Never mind. I'll pull it out later because I thought it was there, but it's not.
Don't say that. You'll be getting more people in your DM.
Not what I meant.
That is what you meant.
That is not what I meant. I was looking for the surgical one, but I don't see it. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Yep, there it is. Hold on. I was like, I know I'm not bugging. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. So there's going to be a lot of this going on.
Подождите, не убивайте, пожалуйста.
Lord knows it's going to be a lot of that going on.
It's a boat.
Marco Rubio, right? If Marco Rubio and a lot of these other politicians get their way, a lot of people going to be anally pregnant. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. This is just
that was used for educational purposes only. I put that in there so you'll be flagged.
Yeah. Right.
You know, they'll cucumber your ass and they'll flag your ass.
And that's perfectly fine at this point. They do everything else.
You know what's crazy, and I've noticed about the European surgical when they have that type of thing going on, that they will sit up there and you will see in the surgical theater there'll be 15 or 20 people with their phones watching.
Yeah,
and taping it and laughing. I mean, because some of the stuff that they've been pulling out of there, oh my God, I'm surprised they haven't punctured anything.
Right, very much so. Just
Babs, you shocked? I know he was shocked when he couldn't reach it and pull it out.
I said, "My God, what is going on?"
And you know what? His wife probably did that shit. I told you. His wife probably said, "Come on, come on."
What did you say? That's why you don't let people who's never driven a Ferrari drive.
Yeah, drive. Yeah, they don't know nothing about, and especially an inanimate object with no nerve endings or anything. They've been a hit. Can you imagine they hit your spine?
But how
something
you get
like that?
Stuck up there like that? That's just
as crazy. Long as that is, it's like, oh my God, it must be at the bottom of his fucking stomach.
That's like you. How do you do that? How do you just let somebody just put that up there? And you talk about some gold? Never mind. I can't.
No, I can't imagine the ride over there.
He probably was laying down the same way he was laying on that table. Oh gosh!
How do you explain that to your insurance company?
I don't know.
Can you imagine the notes?
How do you explain that to your job? What you had to miss?
You don't say anything. I had a hemorrhoid,
right?
And it was green,
right?
and it goes good on a salad. You know. What do you say? You just don't. You don't say that.
I don't know what you say.
Now, see, and it couldn't have been too dirty because nobody had a mask on.
Right.
And they're
just having
playing in his ass.
Right. Literally and figuratively as they take his money. In other news,
yes, you got a whole new meaning aside to the word size queen.
Right. In other news, Democratic billionaires are now backing white candidates over better candidates of color, or otherwise known as black candidates. So yeah, white billionaire friends and these progressive Democrats are likely to lose political power and set back the cause for racial justice in this country. And it's getting real. Pennsylvania, there is a super PAC called Flush, with millions of white billionaires spending at least $3 million trying to defeat Summer Lee, a progressive black state legislator. And all across the country, this is happening. So they found a way, if you can't beat them, join them. You can't come out and say, you're against racial equality, but you can do things to move the needle. So you will take your money, and this is a lot of progressive Democrats. They're even coming or or having the support of a lot of wealthy Black millionaires and famous folks to back a lot of these white progressive or Trump-like candidates to kind of push out the progressive cancel culture of stopping police brutality, kind of rectifying the justice system, and all these other things that we're trying to do to move the country forward in a new direction of equality. These people are trying to dial it back because, of course, it takes the power away from them. So they have found a way, of course, as always, to utilize the system. And I think that's really disgusting. And that's the most disgusting part, that you can have people that look like you, and just because they've made it and rubbed shoulders with other billionaires, think that, well, I made it, you can make it too. And, you know, I'm going to support this over here, even though, you know, there are candidates who are fighting on the ground for people that look like you and I. So I don't know. I just, that was a hard one to read. That was a hard one to read, as we still dying daily in the streets. The young man whose autopsy just proved that he was shot, 46 times?
46 times.
46 times. Damn near every bone in his damn near body broken from these bullets. And we can still have people who support the system as it is. And even those who have come up the way, you know, some of us had come up, and, you know, through athleticism or through the arts, was able to make a life for themselves and their families. And now to support the same thing that has murdered a lot of their own family members, I think is ridiculous. It really is. And it's really sad. And that article comes from The Guardian.
Yeah,
you
I just dropped it.
Definitely check that out.
Yeah, I'm dropping all these articles. I'm dropping the links as we go on.
Yeah. All right. So in other news,
except for that clip.
Yeah, please don't drop that clip. Did you have anything to add to that before I move on to the other one? Because we got a few more.
No, it is something that we've seen. We've seen
right.
it in our workplaces.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they do the same exact thing.
They do it all the time. And it's beginning to be a bit much. But the only thing we can do is continue to fight and show up at the polls. You know, that's all we can do at this point. But Homeland Security records show shocking use of phone data. The ACLU says, which is the Civil Liberties Group, has released documents showing new details about the agency's purchase of information, people's movement throughout North America. So again, remember when people would say, oh no, I turned the location off on my phone? They have been harvesting your data and your movement for locations, even if you cut it on just to, you know, find a local time for your favorite restaurant, if it was closing, or anything you turn your location on, they have been tracking. They've obtained data for more than 336,000 location data points across North America. Documents show that the data points may have referenced only a small portion of the information, but nonetheless, it's been obtained. The data comes from major cities like Los Angeles, California, Chicago, Denver, Toronto, and Mexico City. Location data continues into the Biden administration. So this is something that, of course, Trump did. I believe George W. Bush started it. I'm not sure if Obama stopped it, but I believe he probably still played it in the background too.
Because it never really went away.
Right. Once George W. Bush opened it, it never closed. They may have stopped talking about it, but they still kept this running. The Customs and Border Protection renewed the contract for $20,000, which ended in September of 2021. the American Civil Liberties Union has obtained records showing that from a lawsuit filed in 2020, they were able to obtain these records to show that they've been using people's data and location for a minute now. So nowhere is safe. Big Brother is always watching.
That's right. And you thought you was going out there to get a little sneaky link.
Right.
They know. They know.
Right. Your person may not know, but the government sure does know.
But for the right amount of money.
Right. Very true. Just crazy though. But nowhere is safe. When you think you have some privacy, nowhere is safe.
Oh yeah.
So word to the wise, just be mindful. Be mindful when you're cutting on your locations or when you're cutting off your locations. Make sure you're doing that to know that you're kind of sort of
especially when you're doing shit.
Yeah.
Okay. When you're doing shit.
Yeah.
Don't
Blackout when you're doing shit. Blackout.
Yeah. You decide to go steal an ATM.
Right.
Don't leave
do
your
it.
location on your phone.
On. Right.
Turn your phone off.
Please do. Let's see. In some other news, you had sent me this as well. Fellow YouTube content creator, the King of Reeds, was talking about, he had posted a thread of how white gays in New York City have had access to the vaccine for monkeypox that were intended for Black and brown folks in Harlem. Now, again, this is nothing new. If you recall, when the COVID or the 19 jabs were first being introduced to the nation, the same, maybe not the same folks, but those same,
it's probably the same one,
Caucasian folks were going to the inner city to get jabbed up. So
knowing damn well they would never be in your neighborhood.
Right. So this, again, I'm not surprised that, of course, with monkeypox, they are equating that monkeypox is more of a homosexual, bisexual, trisexual kind of infection. And they're giving out these vaccines. They don't know how productive or protective it is, but they're giving out the vaccines in New York and Harlem to Black and brown folks, and of course white folks jumping in line to get the shots or find out where those locations are that they're giving out the shots and taking them for themselves.
And it's not the fact that there's actual sexual contact; it's just the being in the proximity. And look at the time of the year it is. You're
right. You're at the clubs.
You're out at the clubs.
You're at the
everybody's
clubs,
partying. You have all these festivals. People fly in from all over the place to go run up and down the street and do whatever it is they do.
And of course, this was going to happen because they do this to make sure that they can make their money. You know what I'm saying? When the winter is happening, there's not that much travel. So a lot of these cities and states don't make that much money during the winter, but everything's open season when the weather breaks, regardless of what's going on. As you could tell when we had the lockdown for COVID, people were like, well, you could come, you just got to wear your mask or do this or do that. It's just like, we're not going to get a hold on any of this.
No, everybody's trying to make up for lost revenue for those last 2 years.
Right.
So they don't care who you lay up with. They don't care what you get. Right. Matter of fact, come on in and go to our hospitals here.
Right. Get in the hot box.
Well, see, that's what got a lot of people in people playing hot boxes.
You know what? But on
you're a sodomite.
I'm not going with you today.
Who is it?
Mm-hmm.
Who isn't?
Right. I mean, even the people that talk or preach about it, are the worst kind of sodomites out there. But who Who am I to judge? But on a serious note, there is a new number for the National Suicide Prevention Hotline that had launched on Saturday, expanding access, from growing concern of suicide. So the new number is, of course, as emergencies, you have 911. The new number is now 988 is the new number for the suicide hotline. All right. So prepare to launch nationwide. The 3-digit number on Saturday, which is when it launched, was for local, state, and federal government officials. They gathered in Philadelphia on Friday to discuss the efforts for the new number of the 988 calling code. All right. We've had tons of suicides in past years, and the numbers have grown. They even have grown amongst young people. Mostly some part of the LGBT community and others. So they needed to find a way to.
Did you hear about the comedian that they just announced today that he had committed suicide? Young black guy. He also does the writing and the voice for, I can't remember the name of the cartoon, but he plays a black character on the cartoon. God, I can't remember, but it's on Twitter.
No, I gotta check it out.
But they just announced today that he had passed by suicide. Young guy, because he's been on Netflix, and because I've seen him, I just can't remember his name. Just draws a blank.
It's not
young slim guy.
Not Michael. What's that man's name? He had a show. Oh my gosh, on NBC. It didn't last long. I can't think of the man's name. I hope it wasn't him, but I'll check it out on Twitter. Yeah, you could.
Yeah, he was 28. You're right, Babs. That's who it is.
Who? Chalk Knight.
Mm-hmm. Let me.
Oh, I don't think that.
Yes, that is him. I just pulled him up. You've seen him. He's you probably wouldn't remember the name. You're absolutely right.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, prayers go out to his family.
Mm-hmm.
So sad to lose, young people to suicide. So that number is out there. Please share the article, read the article. It's now a national number. It used to be of course, the suicide prevention longer number, but they were able to make it a nationwide number like 911, which is the emergency number. 988 is now the suicide number. So if there's anyone that is dealing with emotional distress or things of that nature, or you have a feeling that they may be suicidal, or you yourself may be dealing with something and you feel like you can't go on, there is a number that you can call to reach out to someone. That's all it takes is a moment. That's crazy. I'm sorry to hear that. All right. But in moving right along to this other news, Secret Service agents have deleted January 6 text messages from the Oversight Committee after they had requested them that they keep their documents. Immediately after January 5th and 6th, they were requested to keep all documents for government purposes because, of course, there were going to be an investigation. And the Secret Service planned to do a overhaul of all of the software and phones of the agents. And they went ahead and did it anyway, even though Congress had, asked them or ordered them not to. Congress being the judicial part of Congress, that board being the ones who oversee the Justice Department. So I really don't understand how you disobey an order from your commanders to do something like this. But it also shows how intertwined the law enforcement agency is into this whole, and I have an article about
supremacy.
Too, white supremacy, this whole push towards what Trump was trying to do, and a lot of the deeply embedded people that they have all over. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think you got one, and they're everywhere. They're in every bit of government, especially law enforcement. And again, this has also been told by not just the FBI director, but the CIA director, the director of the NSA. They've all said the same thing, that white supremacy and white supremacy groups are not just, the little skinhead groups that you think you see on TV. They're all over. They're definitely in law enforcement.
Down in mama's basement.
They're in, they're in the military. They're in all these things. So if you think, you're just going to get one or two, you're sadly mistaken. But there may be hope for these erased text messages and things because, of course, the government can look or find deleted text messages. But it is
that's real easy.
Yeah,
that's real easy. They can pull them right off of the phone. When you delete something on your computer, it's not actually deleted. Mm-hmm. It's just that it's not sitting up front, and it hasn't been overwritten by another program that you might have put on there. Mm-hmm. So you can always just go right back and pull up. Now, if they've destroyed the phones, that's something else.
Right. Yeah. So, but we shall see what this was.
So when y'all be out here sexting people, that shit ain't gone just because it's deleted.
Oh, well, no. And depending on what you have, everything just transfers over to something else, to something else, to something else. So like all of my text messages and things, they transfer to all of my devices. So even though
that's even worse.
They're like, I was like, ooh, did I delete that?
No, you just synchronize it with everything.
No, right. I know. But then I'm like, ooh, did that delete? I was like, no. I was like, oh, I think it did. And then I'm like, oh, no, it didn't. But that's, that's good. It's, it's just, it's the security.
It all depends on if you got something to hide. If you don't have anything to hide.
Right. That too. Like, it's not even that. I mean, some people may, but it ain't me.
Obviously.
Of course. Don't do me. But in other news, of course, y'all know last week I was talking about that Bryant wench of a woman, Carol Bryant, the white woman who accused Emmett Till of abusing her in that store, not just whistling at her, but abusing her in that store, because that's what her original testimony said, that she screamed for help. And, because he was aggressive towards her and put his hands on, Emmett Till put his hands on her and all this other stuff. Till later in a memoir that has appeared out of nowhere. This memoir was written back in, I want to say 12. If I'm looking correctly, I just want to make sure I get the year when it was written. I think it's 2012. It's like a 99-page manuscript titled "I'm More Than a Wolf Whistle." It talks about the murder of Emmett Till. It was authored by Timothy Tyson of Durham. He agreed, and it was in 2008. He had agreed with Carol Dunham to have it sealed. The manuscript was in the archives at the University of North Carolina, which was agreed never to go public at all. It was recently given to the FBI, recently after this whole emergence of this arrest warrant for her that was found in the basement of the courthouse some years later. In this memoir, she talks about how she knew that they had kidnapped Emmett but she did not know what they were going to do to him, and also that she did not. There was no way for her to stop what may happen to him, but she did ask them to release the boy and send him home. And that she, fought for his freedom and, all this other kind of course, this hero shit that who's believing that shit when the reality is it happened. She talks about how she knew that her and her husband spoke about the kidnapping and all this other mess. But then, of course, she came back and said she didn't know anything about the kidnapping. Her testimony says that she knew about the kidnapping. It's just a whole mess, that at this point, even at 80-something years old, again, and I will say it again until I'm blue in the face, if you can drag Bill's old ass into court on some rape charges, you can grab her ass and put her before a judge for kidnapping. That's it. She also goes on to say in this sealed story, fairy tale bullshit, that she also herself felt like a victim and that she has suffered a great deal of losses due to what has happened. And she always prays for the Emmett Till family. Any thoughts?
I felt good. I wish they'd have found her ass when
Right.
they went to the
when
nursing
they were
home.
banging on the door.
They ran up in there.
And I'm sorry, and excuse me, but I really don't give a shit. I really don't care. I don't give a fuck. I don't. She deserves to be before a judge. I don't care that she's 80-something years old. I don't care that she lives in a nursing home. I don't care. She got to live out her golden years. Mm-hmm. So your whole entire life. Now that, the tide is changing and justice is slowly moving, or she's finally at least peeking through that fucking blindfold of her blind ass. Now we're supposed to feel sympathy and feel some type of way. Now, granted, I get it. It's not going to bring Emmett Till back. No, it's not. But the fact that his own mother lived her whole entire life fighting for justice for her son and others, the least that can be done is that, this woman at least stands before a judge to answer for the kidnapping.
She'll stand before a judge. It may not be here on earth.
Right, but I mean, and then that too. We get caught
Ain't
up in
that
this
right,
religion.
Pastor Nate? Ain't that right?
Right. How you doing, Smart Show?
Mm-hmm.
But we get up in this religion shit like, the Lord will handle it. She'll go before the Lord in judgment. But what about now? She's able to have kids, grandkids, spend birthdays with great grandkids and all this type of stuff. And this young 14-year-old boy was brutally murdered. For what? Nothing. First of all, for some shit of segregation that they created, right? So then it's like, okay, if that was outlawed and no longer considered constitutional, then what's the problem? Then why wouldn't she be in jail? Because she had violated his civil rights. Did she not? She said she identified him, and then of course she went back later and said she did not. But in the fairy tale book, she said she did. But she told them that wasn't the boy to send him home. But they put Emmett Till in front of her for her to identify if this was the boy that whistled at you and whatever. And she said, no, that's not him. But she said she couldn't control what they were going to do to him, nor did she know what they might do to him. I call bullshit. I mean, I call now, of course, you want to say that, and you want to say that now, and all of a sudden, because, you got all these NAACP, Black Panthers, whatever else group is out here knocking on every senior citizen, Golden Acres, Golden Mile, what was the Shady Palms, whatever that was, Shady Pines, whatever that shit is on the Golden Girls, knocking on every fucking door looking for your ass.
Looking for an old
right, looking for an old white bitch. Now you wanna pull this out of the woodworks.
They gonna run up on somebody's meemaw.
I mean, I just don't get it. Justice is justice. It doesn't matter. And again, as I said before, we're talking about reparations, not just money. It's not about having a financial what we didn't have, this 40 acres and a mule kind of thing, whatever that was. But it entails all of that. It entails justice for people that were lynched and hung and burned to death and tarred and feathered. All these, monstrosities that we try to sit here and act like, well, that didn't really happen. Or, oh, that's a fairy tale. Or can we just move past it? The fuck no, we cannot move past it. You've destroyed families because of this. She didn't have any other children. Emmett was her only son. Her only child. So you destroyed a whole line of whatever he could have had for what? This.
That's right.
That itself deserves reparations. But
wiped out a whole bloodline.
That's it. But that's what they always do. And then they act like, oh, we didn't do anything. The Tulsa massacre, Rosewood, on and on and on. All these small towns that were thriving without, the help from, Mr. Master, just making it work. And one day you get mad and here y'all lighting up 28 cities, just burning stuff to the ground just because you feel like it. And we're supposed to forget that and move on. Like, oh, can't you see a brand new day? Bitch, this ain't the Wiz. I don't buy it. But your thoughts, if you have any?
No thoughts.
All right. So I was looking for the other one, but let's talk about this. So this has been trending all day today, all day when I saw it the first time. I was pretty upset by it, but then I saw this other clip and I was trying to pull it, but I can't seem to find it. I sent it to you via email. Did you get it? With the one that showed the other characters in the other places? Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, just let that sink in. I'll put it on my Instagram. I think I'll place it on my community later, but there was other situations because since that has, spread like wildfire, other people have posted other clippings.
Yeah, Babs asked,
could you play that one again? Huh?
Babs asked, could you play that one again?
Oh, sure. Yeah, so basically early on in the clip, because I saw one that was longer, this high-fiving and shaking the hands of all the white children and adults there. And when those two young girls, were screaming for her and putting their hand out, totally ignored them. Now, there's another one where there's a Bert and Ernie, and I think it's Bert, or is it Ernie? Which one is the yellow one?
Yeah, we sent as a text, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I don't know which one. Bert is the yellow one, right? That look like a damn banana.
Bert, yeah.
Right.
Bert's the skinny one.
Right. So there's the Bert character, and he's high-fiving all of the white kids. And then the black girl is standing there, like doing like this, and he literally takes his hand and goes like that across her face. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and right. And are these people still employed? Is the question. Now, again, we cannot sit here and assume that just because they put a character mask on, that they, inhabit this same Sesame Street character or Disney character that children have grown to love and respect, or what have you. Some of these people are the same racist folks, okay, that they are outside of their employment. And so when they put this on and they see Black children and children of color, they don't interact with them. And because it's probably not wildly reported, because during the time people aren't really catching it, or
that's the thing I thought was really strange was when you look at it, it's like the same movements and everything. I was wondering if it was actually the same person.
Right? Because they're all doing the same thing. Like even there's one, well, I think it's like a Disney, I'm not sure if they're in a castle or in a cruise ship, but it was like a dinner where the characters come, and the Beast from Beauty and the Beast came into the room waving, and he's waving at all the white kids, waving back at him, and he literally looks over and just totally ignores the Black people sitting at the table and started waving again at the white people. And you could hear the kid calling him like Beast, Beast, and he never turned around. So this may be something new to us as we're watching this, but you can just imagine the impact that this has on young children who are taught to live in a world where you don't judge someone by their color or anything of that nature, and to then have a character that they look up to and watch and idolize, and don't understand that there's a person under that that may have some beliefs about you that may not be true, but still beholds them in their heart. And I think that's the sad part, and to look at these children's faces when they don't understand exactly what's going on, because they're looking at that character at that moment as that person, as the Beast, as Zoe, I think the character's name is, as Bert and Ernie. And there was another one, one of the other Sesame Street characters, where he literally pushed the little girl on the ground. And
he was black. He was black.
Was he?
Yeah, you could tell he was black.
But he didn't.
He's one of those ones that you'd have got at little Nene's birthday party.
No. That's the Sesame Street character. That's the mom.
No, it's the character, the little purple one. Yeah, the little girl. Because matter of fact, I have it right here. And
let me see.
I sent it to you on your Instagram.
You sent it back to me? Okay, hold on. Let me change mine.
Yeah, because you sent it to me in a text.
Yeah, because I was trying to see if you could pull it off the thing. Because
pull it off of there.
Yeah, pull it off.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I can play it on here. I could just share the screen. Give me 1 second. Was this one with the other ones too, or just this one? Oh, this is the other ones. Okay. All right. Give me 1 second.
Should be at the very bottom.
Yeah, I got it. I just need to and this one, it may not have been done in that way, because as you look at the end of it, but still, it was just the fact that it was done, that it was very distasteful.
I don't even know what character this is.
It's that character like yum 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 yum.
Okay.
That it was that.
What his stomach, which protrudes from his body.
Yeah, but that's yeah.
But he's black. He's black.
Yeah.
His movements. He's definitely black.
All right. So let's see here. And don't be trying to when I'm sharing this screen here, don't be trying to copy people's stuff. I know how some of y'all people are, but let me know if you can see that. Can everybody see that? Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the first clip. I'm not sure if it'll show.
Yeah, just see the arrow in the center.
Which one?
You just hit it because it just went to the next one.
So now this is the other one. And as you can see, he's shaking the hands of all the kids, and was totally like dismissive of that kid. And then in this one, this is the one where I was saying with the Beast. You see he's walking around, shaking, waving, bloop, shaking, waving, shaking, waving, shaking, waving, shaking, waving, shaking, waving. Yeah, and continues on, and they looking like, what the hell?
Oh,
And then
see.
this is the Bohemian. And as you can see, that was slowed so you could see that. But yeah, that's, and I'll turn it off for the sound so you can see that. But literally, he slapped the young girl in her face. So yeah,
I'll see that. Ha!
you know,
Ernie.
that was Bert. Wasn't that Bert? Then that's Bert.
I don't care. One of you non-binary Muppet thingies, whatever the. Get your ass back over here. I'm surprised nobody's mother didn't jump on him.
Yeah, right. Right.
You know
Well, I
how
think they figured they
black
were
women
gonna
are about their babies.
get,
They'd
right,
be like,
yeah. But I think they didn't want to, they didn't want to cause a scene and then get kicked out of the park and ruin.
oh, they don't care. The babies seen their mothers act a fool before.
Mm.
I mean, why was you so tame this time? You know how you're not like that when we at home.
Yeah, right, right. Well, I mean, people try to act different on vacation. I don't know, but
that don't work.
I just thought that was very distasteful, and yeah, something needs to be done. Sesame Place, the first clip I showed you with the two girls, their mother plans to sue Sesame Place, or whatever you call the thing. I think it's Sesame Place.
It's Sesame Place.
Yeah, the parents of the two young girls who got the cold shoulder from the Sesame Street character, they plan to sue for, which clearly looks like a case of racism.
That's a damn shame. Jim Henson is probably flipping in his grave.
Yeah, sure is.
Him and Walt Disney, because Walt Disney now owns the Muppets.
Oh, please. Walt Disney was a goddamn Walt Disney is definitely not flipping in his grave.
Well, see, I expected it from Walt Disney.
Right. Walt Disney is definitely like, it's a small world after all.
Mm-hmm.
He's having a great time.
Kill the Jews.
Right. Kill the Jews and work your way to the blacks. Yeah, Walt Disney.
So we knew what Disney is about.
Yeah,
but not the Muppets.
Yeah, but once he sold his rights to the Muppets, I think they were already going down a different slope. But yeah, this. Mm-hmm. But then again, note that Sesame Place is in Allen, Pennsylvania, I believe.
Yeah, Allentown. Yeah, probably up there with all the baubles.
Allentown, Pennsylvania, which is up there with, ba-ding, ding, ding, ba-ding, ding, ding. So I would not
and the Amish.
Right.
They got good weed up there. Yeah.
And good fertilizer, because it's a lot of bullshit.
That's right.
A lot of bullshit up there. Trust me, I went to school out there. I know. A lot of bullshit. But but anyway, yes. Yeah, I don't, I think more people should sue. If you have evidence of this, you should sue.
Now that you actually see that it is a thing. It is actually something. It wasn't just a one time.
Yes, very true.
It just amazed me how many people pull these clips up.
Yeah. I mean, I'm white, and that cures the white people about it. Yeah, I mean, it does. I mean, and granted, we don't know what race the actual characters are, but I mean, I can't see.
If they weren't feeling it that day, they should have just called.
They should have just called. Right, they should have just called out.
You signed up. Right. To put that hot ass costume on
and be around children. Now,
to be around kids and dance in the street in 90-degree weather.
That's it. All races, creeds, and colors.
So maybe he was having a rough day. Maybe he didn't wash his ass, and you in that suit, and you get to jumping around and shit get hot.
Yeah, but why would you?
That's
be
on
okay?
you. Don't take it out on the kids.
Dancing around other children and you're not okay? You know, kids are kids. You know, you're there to make kids smile. So, like you said, sir, so you're there to make kids smile. So I can't see you taking it upon yourself to then utilize whatever prejudices or biases you may have to then echo that on children, because that last one with the slap was a bit much. Because that you deserve to be reached around. I wouldn't give a goddamn.
Like I said, I'm just surprised nobody's mother didn't snatch him.
I don't. Maybe the mother or whomever she was with didn't record that. I think it was just a pass. You know, somebody who just happens to be there at the time that happened to see that. Because I don't think it was the actual parent that actually got a glimpse of that moment. So I think that was really sad and unfortunate.
And this is what systemic racism looks like. It just seeps into everything where you least expect it. That's the crazy part. I think because you just don't associate that type of behavior with the kids, and this is a underage, I mean, a little kids theme park.
Yeah, these are theme parks. Yeah, it's like, come on, these are children. They don't have, you know what I'm saying, like your feelings or your, you know, whatever towards people have nothing to do with that. Like, that's just absolutely crazy.
No, Babs, I don't think that was it. I've taken Ambien. That's some shit.
Right.
That is some shit.
That is just some bullshit there. No, I took some Ambien. No,
this shit is real.
No, I mean, I know it's real, but I'm just saying, whatever you feel, regardless of whatever.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been up dancing around. You'd be asleep. Now, Ambien will make you eat a whole turkey out of the refrigerator and not remember that you ate, or slap somebody, you know, that's in your house, but you're asleep, you know.
Right.
But Ambien is a powerful drug. I've taken it. It'll knock you out, but you better clear your mind. You better did some serious stuff that got you in trouble.
I don't know nothing about that. So
it's a good one. One of my top 10 drugs.
Is it? Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, in other news, the governor of Florida is starting to look more. I mean, governor of Florida. Oh, you hear me? Wow. The governor of California is starting to look more like the Democratic president. Gavin Newsom has just signed a law allowing the victims to sue gun makers. California's assembly bill for the 1594 will give violence victims the power to sue gun companies for damage. While President Joe Biden has signed a bipartisan Safer Communities Act into law a few weeks ago, which some people, of course, considered to be too modest, Governor Gavin Newsom of California signed into law on Tuesday, which allows gun violence victims as well as state and local governments to sue gun makers for damages. Now, this legislation will provide $156 million in gun violence prevention grants to support nearly 80 cities and nonprofit organizations impacted by anti-violence programs tailored to their local communities. The new law will go into effect effective July 1st of 2023. Personally, the city is tired of paying.
That's what that boils down to.
It's tired of paying, and the city is looking towards these governments to pay their goddamn fair share.
That's right.
And that's just it. I mean, granted, the whole saying goes, the guns don't kill the people, but at the same time, if the guns that can cause mass destruction are in the hands of these people, then who is held accountable? Everybody involved. There's no need to make those types of weapons outside of, if you're not selling it to the army to use in combat, then there's no need to have that in a regular gun shop. So then that's There lies the problem. Those types of weapons, those military type of arms do not need to be in regular gun shops. You can be a connoisseur of guns and all of that, but that does not need to be in a gun shop. And if you are that type of connoisseur, then that needs to be investigated and delegated to make sure that you are legally stable or whatever to have those type of weapons, and you only have them because you collect them, not for any other reason. But all that, again, laws have to be made to change people's minds and way of thinking. Because once again, you get tired of coming out of your pocket, you start changing your mind because your money starts changing. So, we're not going to go right. We're not going to go nowhere going back and forth about these things. Children are out here dying, whether they're black, brown, purple, white, black. Children are dying, and the fact that we won't say anything about children being murdered by uneducated, unlicensed people who just randomly, because of whatever reason, want to shoot up schools. But we can sit here and have a debate about people paying child support at conception or demanding that 10-year-old girls who are raped have their babies by their rapists, which is ridiculous. But we don't care anything about children dying at the hands of guns. The same thing like in New York, where they just overturned the the concealed and carry, which opens up a whole nother can of worms in this fight to kind of keep guns out of the hands of the wrong people, and then to not have these standoffs with police where police is just murdering people because, again, that was their whole thing. He had a gun. Now you can go out and just say he had a gun and it'd be justified. This is we're not even taking steps forward at this point. We're taking steps back. When people say the movies imitate art in real life or art imitates life, this is really happening. We are entering the days of a purge kind of situation that if we don't wake up, we will be having a July 4th where people can go out and kill people for the day, and then you go back to life as normal when all this is over, because this is where it's headed. If you have these things where people can walk around with concealed weapons and just walk around, and you think, oh, well, if everybody's walking around with a weapon, nobody won't be able to just open fire. Somebody will stop them. How? You had a whole police force standing outside for 45 minutes to do what as children were being murdered inside of a school? It makes no sense. No sense. Because why? You didn't see your own children in there. You didn't see your own grandchildren, your whatever, your neighbor's children. You didn't see them in there because you immediately knew, oh, well, this is a brown school. And I'm not saying they all thought that way, but I mean, goddamn, 40 some odd minutes and you're there to protect and serve. Who the hell are you protecting and serving? And that's just the reality. Who are you protecting and serving? Because it's not them. Those were children. They quickly grabbed ICE police officers to question the parents than they did to go protect children. This doesn't make any sense. That part is crazy. There's no way you can justify that. None. And, we can talk about gun legislations and your right to bear arms. But then, too, if we're going to talk about all this stuff, then we need to put everything in complete context to where when the right to bear arms, the times and situations that we were dealing with was a total different story than what we're dealing with right now. I mean, and that's just the reality. You have a right to obtain anything that you want under legal right. And that's your right. But you don't have the right to use that to then, kill and murder people or do these other things. And you don't deserve to get the consequences. It happens, everything. And truth be told, why wouldn't they go after the gun companies and makers? They went after cigarette companies.
Mm-hmm.
When it clearly said on the box, if you smoke, this will happen. They went after them anyway and won big. So why wouldn't they? But what did cigarette companies start doing? They start dialing back or having truth moments where they tell you exactly what this is what happens when you smoke cigarettes. This is that, and all them kind of commercials. Again, because they got tired of being sued. When the money starts leaving, the minds start changing.
Mm-hmm. But then they expanded their market overseas.
Right. Yeah, that too. But I mean, it's just crazy all of it. Yeah, no. And I thank you for seeing my point. But I'm just saying, it's just like something has to be done. Like, we can't just say, I have my right to bear my gun or it's my constitutional right. Yeah, we all have constitutional rights. But when they start to infringe on others, if we're truly a nation, right, then we start to consider, well, is my right to have this or my want to have this really that important? Because you have a right to protect your family and your thing, whatever. You have that right, but you don't have a right to have a stockpile of weapons in your house. Like, for what? And then when your child goes or whomever goes to go shoot up something, then we're talking about mental health. Well, you knew that motherfucker was crazy beforehand. And if you're not held accountable for not putting up your weapons and locking them in a place where that person couldn't go get them, then you need to go to jail too. And that's just it, and that's all. But moving right along to that, the House passed a bill creating a active shooter alert system. This system will allow state and local governments to alert citizens of potential threats quickly. So, for example, just like we all get the Amber Alert on our phones, or what they call it, the Silver Alert with the old people.
Yeah, old people getting lost. Joe's lost.
Right, Joe's lost. Joe lost.
Oh, Joe.
Oh, Joe. We got him, Joe. We found him. So, just like you get those alerts on your phone, you will now be getting an alert to let you know if there's an active shooter present in your area and where, to not either go to the area or to stay away from the area or whatever, to protect everybody. After these mass shootings, of course, in Buffalo, in Uvalde, in other places, it's time. It's time. There are people out here, granted, we can talk about all day that the bad people are the ones with the guns, whatever, that whole story. They have them. Well, what are we doing to protect the people, to protect ourselves? And again, for some reason, and we could agree to disagree. We're grown here. I think a lot of people are stuck in this John Wayne, Wild Wild West kind of scenario in their fucking heads that, this is what it is. We're not there. This is not the frontier. This is not the frontier. You can pick up a cell phone, order food, a car, and everything else. You can do all this stuff with no problem. So I don't understand what the issue is. I'll be back 1 second.
I'd like to say good evening to everybody coming into the chat. I tell you.
Hey, sorry about that. But yeah, so I don't know. I just really don't get it. Like, we're not in the Wild Wild West. This is not that type of party. The times are different.
There's no need for automatic or semi-automatic weapons.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's gonna
just plain and simple. Unless you live in a rural area, shotguns, rifles, that's fine. When you're in a secluded area, you come across, bears and those types of things. But just look how quickly it changed from you would have a weapon that you can modify, and now you don't even have to do that. You can just buy them straight out. And look at all the carnage that it has done. Because you're mute.
I got it. And you have, and the reality, like the last shooting with like the 18-year-old kid. Now, you mean to tell me this 18-year-old kid had $1,000 some odd dollars sitting here for this, for gun stocks? He had all this money for all these other pieces of ammunition and all that kind of stuff. But this is what I'm saying. So who are we holding accountable? You know what I'm saying? Like, if your parents sat there and taught you how to shoot and took you to the gun range and did all this, and then allowed you to have all this money and access, or let them use your credit card to go, oh yeah, go ahead, son, amp up. And then it's like, for what? What are you amping up for? And then to go after children, no less.
Soft targets.
Yeah, right.
Because first graders and kindergartens don't fight back. They don't.
But this
school with pistols.
But this is what I'm saying. Children are not coming to school with pistols. And the sad truth about all of this, growing up in an inner city school, especially like junior high school and high school, honey, we had to walk through metal detectors, and nobody was carrying a goddamn thing, maybe but a fingernail clipper or file.
You better not even had that. If it looked sharp, if it was over 3 inches,
but this is what I'm saying.
It was confiscated.
If it looked like anything that could cause damage, it was considered a weapon, and you were held under like harsh, like, hey, you suspended, you know what I'm saying? Your mother's called, all this stuff. And yet we have these schools where people think, oh, well, nothing happens here. And this is where the shit's happening. But nobody is talking about having metal detectors placed in their schools, though.
You know what? No, but it was fine for the city. And I'm glad that it happened. And I'm glad that it has happened, because we don't have those issues like they do in the rural areas.
No, but I'm saying immediately they assumed that this was going to happen. Oh, schools are going to have, inner city schools are going to have mass shootings, and people are going to come in here having gang fights. Where has it happened? I'll wait. The first one was Columbine. Where was that? I'll wait. Yep, sure have. But go ahead. Were you going to say something? I'm sorry.
Oh, no. You good.
Okay. Let's see what this one was. Next one. This one was big too. The House Republicans vote against tackling white supremacy in the military and law enforcement. Again, what we were talking about the Secret Service. They are here, ladies and gentlemen. Granted, a lot of us don't want to admit the truth or even act like it exists, but they are here. White supremacists are in law enforcement. They have been here, but for those, for those sleep folks or those like, no, I don't think so. They've been here. Okay. We know that they have been here. But other people, are just waking up to the reality that they have been here since January 6th. Which has revealed that a lot of the participants at January 6th were military veterans, law enforcement agents, even some top law enforcement agents like Secret Service members and others, etc. The amendment that was put forth would require the FBI director, the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, and the Secretary of Defense to establish a report analyzing white supremacist and neo-Nazi activity within their ranks and present ways to root it out from its organizations. And of course, the Republicans declined to do so. And granted, I'm sure a lot of Democrats, was against it too. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna just hold it to one side.
They dirty too.
But because
that's why we have to pay attention to
everything.
To their votes.
Right. Mm-hmm. But again, understand that because if the Republicans push against it and it doesn't make it at least to committee, then they don't have to say that they are against it. You see what I'm saying? So they utilize that as well. So again, it's just it's sad to see But it's a reality that we as a people know. We've known that law enforcement has been filled with white supremacists and neo-Nazis. We've known that. Now, for it to go as far as the Secret Service and all that in the military, who's surprised? Who's surprised?
Yeah, they're just pretty much confirming what we already knew.
Have we not heard the stories of the Tuskegee Airmen and the battles that they had to go through? Obviously, it still exists even to this day. I showed the clip of the young airman who at the top of his field and still gets discriminated against.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, it won't stop until we stop it. And the reality is, even as the white counterparts who are allies of this situation, hey, you got to check your folks. You have to check your folks. There's no way that this is going to stop until you start checking your own folks. So when you hear it, say something. When it's out of color, say something. The fact that you don't say anything, you continue the cycle. So you're just as guilty. Let's see. What else am I going to entertain? I talked about Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade, but it has a lot of other ramifications. Roe v. Wade has, with overturning that, has now opened to where people won't be able to receive their medication that helps them deal with getting affordable drugs for millions of different illnesses and treatments like inflammatory bowel disease, psoriasis, and certain cancers. So again, this is, as I talked about earlier, the overturning of Roe v. Wade is not just about abortions, as a lot of people like to, kind of hang their hat on, but it deals with a lot of other things. A lot of people won't be able to get the type of drugs that they were getting due to Roe v. Wade. A lot of people won't be able to. There's another story with a man who is disabled with a particular disease in his DNA, like a
genetic disorder that he did not want to pass along.
On the 22 chromosome that he didn't want to pass on to any of his children. So they were making sure that they would kind of separate his genome pattern to where in which he would not pass this on to children. That has stopped because of the overturning of Roe v. Wade. So again, it's not just about abortions, and it's all of this just religious sanctimonious bullshit about it being about religion. It is not. It's so much greater than that. Roe v. Wade was a gateway to help a lot of people get the health care and the medications that they needed. And that has all stopped due to the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade. And of course, with the overturning of Roe v. Wade, Clarence Thomas' disapproval or asking for him to be impeached has grown to now 1.2 million signatures and growing still at this point. Yes.
Yes, delete him.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Show up at his door. But there was a woman that was on this morning who has a certain ailment. And because she was deemed as being in a fertile age, that she will not be able to receive these medications because they do, cause abortions. They will, if you're pregnant, you will abort the child.
Right.
But because she's in that age range, now if she was a male, she would still be able to get that medication. Okay. But because she was a woman and her age is, she's deemed still fertile,
right.
She can't get the medication, and it's the only one that she can take because all the other ones have different side effects. But this one works for her, so you'll start to see a lot of that going on too. They've really fucked up so much shit in the process.
They have.
Really
Welcome to everybody coming into the chat. I'm just looking at the chat. Well, welcome. It is nice to see you as always. And as you're in here, please hit the like button and support the channel. But yeah, they really have. They have screwed over a lot of other things. It was really not just, and granted, I get it. A lot of the religious right, left, and in between have hung their hats heavily on this aborting is killing children and unborn babies, but you can allow shootings like the first one I mentioned. What was that? With the black Columbine and all the others, the Florida one. I mean, we can go on and on with the young murders of children in school that had no metal detectors, no extra security, no police presence like you do in the inner city. None of that. Just children going to school and, whatever happens and, disgruntled kid going into his mother's and father's gun cabinet, getting the gun, loading it up, and coming to school, lighting it up. Nothing. And every time we have the same discussion for a couple days, the gun laws need to change. And then what happens? We all die down. They have the funerals. We a little bit angry, and then we go back to life as normal. Why is that? Why is that? But we can sit here and have debates all day on somebody getting pregnant and whether or not it's our right to tell them what they can do with their fucking baby. But they can sit there and open their legs or, be forced to open their legs. And then we're going to tell them to you have to have that. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's like ass backwards, if you ask me. It really is ass backwards. But
what would happen if you popped a politician?
Right. You pop the politician. Oh boy, you going under the jail.
Mm-hmm.
You're going under the jail. And then they're going to have, the body laying in state under the Capitol, like this was such a great person and all the greatness that they've done for their country and their state. And, all this bullshit pomp and circumstance for this. But, at the end of the day, it's like people are dying out here.
And it's like a replay of the same exact thing.
It
happens over and over and over. And nothing, and then nothing happens.
And then the funny thing about it for me is, they always talk about inner city. And, when it's inner city shooting, it's, what's going on in their communities. But when it's their school shootings, it's like, a lot of mental health. What's going on? I don't understand.
Yeah, it changes up. Because of course in the city, the first thing it's drugs.
Right.
And all of that other stuff.
It's drugs. It's look at the neighborhoods. They need to clean up their neighborhoods. We need to go in and clean up their neighborhoods. But then they do it. And it's like, we need to work on mental health. And all this drug epidemic is so bad. You mean the same drug epidemic that Nixon and others ran havoc on the inner city communities is the reason why they're in the disarray that they are because of this war on drugs, which wasn't a war on drugs. It was just a war on people, on black people and people of color. Period.
That's right.
Period. To make sure they maintain in a space where they were. That's it.
You're right, Diva. They're always deflecting all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Quickly, without hesitation. And we're just supposed to accept it. And it's like, no, I'm not going to accept it. But I'm not going to hand you my vote either.
Oh, no, bitch. You got to work for that.
No, you got to, right. You got to work. You got to get this vote up. Just like everything else.
They ain't even say, I was going to say, they ain't even sound right.
It don't even get up for nothing. You better work it.
Now, if you drop some stacks, we can see what we can do.
But I mean, it's ridiculous. At this point, it is really ridiculous. But I have overgone my hour in this, so let's just get into the other parts. But if at any time
you were kind of deep tonight, weren't you?
I know, because it was just on my chest. I had to get it out. But if at any time you want to find me at any other these other little spots and locations, or you have any stories that you want to share, you can always find me on one of these social media places. So here we go.
Make it
Sorry,
clap.
I
Make
was
it
stuck in
clap.
my face. Hey, I was stuck in my face.
Don't
So
don't choke.
I don't choke.
You know. Goodbye. I'm going home.
Okay. Bye. All right. So, with that said, here's the segment that everybody loves where we talk about messy stuff. So anyway, and it's called Who Said That? So let's get into it.
Who said that? Who said that? Who said that? Who has been saying that? Who said that? Who said that?
It's a little delayed, so I'm gonna let it catch up. But all right. All right. So real quick, not even gonna go into a whole lot because this person does not deserve even this much of energy. But it's been brought to the attention. Oh, if you don't even thank you. So it's been brought to my attention that this particular
At least it was a ringtone.
it's a general, okay? That this particular individual, you know, Pittsburgh Zoo, I'll say that, had a comment referring to Sean Bradley dragging Queen Kwani through the YouTube streets like Emmett Till, which of course is disgusting and highly distasteful. And as a black person, a black man first, gay second, or whatever you consider yourself to be, highly distasteful. But I get it. You're an attention grabber, seeker, whore. So of course you would say something like that because you get people talking about you and not talking about the other situations that were going on YouTube. But the true reality is this. You can't expect someone to be educated about the history of African American people who received a degree from Joanne's Fabric. The two don't match and they don't mix. So, or a certificate of completion from Michael's. So you're not and you're never going to expect a person to have the integrity, the fortitude, the historical knowledge to know that there are certain things that you don't joke about, and there are certain things that aren't funny. The murder of a child at the age of 14, brutally beaten, disfigured, and hung is not a joking matter. Neither are 4 little girls being bombed in a church a joking matter. But of course, when it doesn't relate to you and you don't deem it to be important because it's not something that you know anything about, let alone care anything about, it's unimportant to you. Just like you wearing a t-shirt with the neck cut that happens to say Black Lives Matter. When your own black fat ass life doesn't even matter to yourself. So again, the t-shirt, regardless of the words, is still just a t-shirt. Ill-fitting as it is still a t-shirt. So please, let's stop holding these people in high regard and expect them to be educated enough, and not even educated through a degree, but just educated enough in personal knowledge to know, well, yeah, I shouldn't say that. Or that's going a little too far. Okay, so on that note, we're moving right along, and that's all I got to say about that. It was just distasteful. It really was. But then again, I don't expect what do I expect from someone who beat old ladies in a sewing competition? I mean, bitch, please. Oh, okay, you can sew. Congratulations. Cause you clearly can't do no hair from what we seen from the shit on your head. That's not happening. But anyway, oh no, oh, sorry. Um, moving right along from that, this whole Brianna thing, Brianna girl, where's my Molly? You in danger, girl? Where is it? Where is it? I can't. Oh, it's not here. But yeah, basically, in my Whoopi Goldberg voice, Molly, you in danger, girl. Brianna, just run for the hills. Now with that, I will address this. Like I said last week, Kimmy addressed a situation, and one person jumped up. It ain't me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. Like the bitch, guilty feet have no rhythm. So usually, sometimes it's best to keep your mouth shut and let the people assume what they're going to assume. Because when you start speaking the loudest, you start telling on yourself. But then that says a lot about you because you've done it before. You have this ability or this problem with you talking shit about people to impress other folks. And then it comes out that you actually were engaged with the folks you were talking shit about. And then you got to backpedal and pussy pop to kind of wiggle your way out of. And that's a big pussy. Trust me, I've seen it. To wiggle your way out of trying to maneuver how you were engaged with said person. And granted, it wasn't that big and it wasn't that deep. Literally, like it wasn't even that serious. However, it's sad that grown folks have to go through these lengths to impress another grown ass person. And it's not the first person. Other people have done it. The really other person has, done stuff that's like, how are y'all going all these links for what? What is this? What is this purpose? Like, just be grown and be you and do your own thing. But I realize that a lot of people have grown up their whole entire lives wanting to be accepted. And that's something that is deep within them. And as grown adults, 40 plus, 50 plus, 30 plus, they still urge to be accepted. And it's like, honey, you will never be accepted until you do this. Accept yourself. Accept yourself. Fat, bald, ugly, whatever, accept you. Once you accept you, life will be much smoother for you. Trust and believe it. This is a lesson I learned early on in life. So the reason why I find it hard and I don't understand grown folks at this age and area not accepting themselves first is baffling to me. But this I learned at a very young age. Everybody ain't gonna like you, but you have to love you. And the fact, there's a lot of self-hatred or kind of deflective kind of situations going on. I don't have a problem with me. I don't have a problem with me. The people that interact with me don't have a problem with me. And you may have a problem with me, and that's fine. That's fine. But I'm sure people got a problem with you. Like, okay, life moves on. But as you can see, when you're involved in a lot of triangles and situations with all these people, and you talk so much shit about them in private that when things come out in public, you have to then kind of wiggle your way out. And that's a lot of wiggling. It makes you look a type of way. It just does. Cut it out. Love yourself. Be proud of what you've done. If you suck dick on the side of the road, be proud of that. Stand in it. So you suck dick. You be a good dick sucker. You suck that dick the best way you know how. But what you're not going to do is try to clown people as if you weren't participating in the fuck shit. Because you were. But when you think the cool kids found out about it, you got to now wiggle your way out of it. No, that's some bullshit. You're grown. Be grown. And granted, you wasn't sucking mine, but, you know, the person needed assistance. And the fact of the matter is, the truth of the reality is, I was the one who connected you with the person because I was the one trying to make sure that person got home. Now that's some tea.
You know what's crazy? I watched that video over the weekend.
Because I'm always the one in the behind the scenes, just trying to make sure people stay focused and not really lose, you know, too much of themselves. Because I care about us as a people and how we're viewed and how we making ourselves look. And I know sometimes it's a fleeting battle, but it's in my nature. But go ahead, I'm sorry. I will take a drink.
Oh no. Yeah, how many more have you had since then? No, I was saying I had watched that video this weekend.
Oh, which one? The Reed one or the Kimmy one?
I watched the King Roman one. Did you see that one?
No, I didn't know he did a.
Yeah, where he was trying to solve that issue.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that one?
I saw it when it first aired. I haven't watched it again since then. So I might have pieces.
Yes, I had watched that one, and I was just.
Yeah, like
I mean,
because I'm not one to seek validation from anybody. I don't need you to pat me on the back and go, "Oh, that was a good job. That was a good thing." No, I do things just out of right. I do things out of the concern, and you're fine. I do things out of the concern of my own heart. So if I see something to be like da 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 da, so when I saw it, I immediately was like, "Well, you kind of close. So let me see what I can do." And when that person said, "You think I should do it?" Yeah, especially if you're trying to, you know, put your face out here and move from there to here, that would be a good move for you. Now, did I know that was happening? No. But do I care? No, because we were not. No, the person had their own situation happening. So the more that I would be concerned about, if you out here doing this, picking up people, what is you bringing home? But that's why you wouldn't be concerned about that. But to then to disparagingly talk about people to where their feelings are then hurt, to where they have to then come out and expose because you making them look like clowns is ridiculous. And I think enough's enough. Enough's really enough. Cut the shit.
A mukbang.
What you mukbanging? Penises? Yeah,
That's
okay.
what it is.
Well, it wasn't happening here. But anyway, going back to the moral of the story.
There's a moral?
Yes, there is.
Oh, okay.
Brianna, stop running your fucking mouth. Honey, just stop. Just stop. Because apparently everything you're talking about to people is coming out. And it's not making you look good. It's really not. You know, and again, this thing on YouTube, this kind of virtual, you know, celebrity, as some people like to call it, or this kind of political or not political, but social influence that a lot of people think they have. This is as much as they've gotten their whole entire life. The attention, the people wanting them to go live or knowing, hey, you ain't been on in 2 or 3 days. What's wrong with you? Where you been? How you? All that concern that people thrive on that haven't received any of that throughout life. But that doesn't excuse you being a poor human being and using someone's mishap or things of that nature to then belittle them. And that's not just for you. That's for a lot of you motherfuckers that think y'all have some quote unquote tea or something on somebody to spill it. Like, oh yeah, did you know he did this? You know he did that? When a lot of you motherfuckers are piss poor and disgusting. I mean, let's be really clear. Some of you got houses on a First 48 special. And if you don't know what a First 48 special is, that's a house that a murder has happened in. And, you know, you get it on discount. So kill me, literally and figuratively, with the bullshit. Some of you people don't even have anything. This is all you have. So my reality is like, listen, I understand that life, you know, deals curveballs, you know, and sometimes it'll knock you down, but you don't got to stay down. And just because you're down, you don't have to try to bring everybody else down with you. Because some people are just not there, and they will never be there regardless of what you do or what you try to do. This in-crowd shit, that's for people with no friends and no life. And y'all can say, I got friends, I got life, I don't need this. But that's funny because the shit y'all do, y'all prove every day or every time y'all do some shit that y'all have no fucking life. You don't go nowhere. You don't fly nowhere. You don't do a goddamn thing but sit up on here in somebody's clouds, balcony, bushes, writing down everybody and everything that somebody says about you because you have no life.
It's summertime. Go outside and get some sun.
Them motherfuckers can't go out and get sun. Get sun for what? They'll come in smelling like bacon and boiled pork and all types of shit. Like they don't have.
I like bacon.
A life, bro. Speak for yourself. I can't stand it. But that's the real. You know, it's sad. It's sad that even in my quote unquote condition, that I've never been one to sit down, allow what I was given or birthed with to dictate my life. And the fact that I could literally probably run around circles around some of you motherfuckers, and that's walking fast for some. It's sad. It's sad because you have everything, right? But you still can't do shit. But talk and clean up and do all this other type of shit. And it's like, that's another thing. We talk about cleanups and all this other, you know, that's the cool phrase. Oh, this one's gonna do a cleanup. This one's gonna do a cleanup on you. Clean up that dirty ass couch. Clean up that. It's like Big Lots. It's really giving me Big Lots. There's a lot of other nice furniture places you could get a couch from, or the actual word is sofa, from them Big Lots. Because that's definitely giving me Big Lots, sweaty, stank, you know, need some Febreze, the fabric spray, for those of you who don't know. It's definitely giving that. So, again, if we're going to talk about things and people, make sure you are exposing yourself and stop utilizing people's things against them, because that's not going to change them. Because the reality is, what you don't know is what they have gone through has made them a lot stronger than you think. But you wouldn't know that because you're not them. Okay? So at the end of the day, listen, all you got to do is be you. And the people will like you for being you. You ain't got to be no mean, nasty, disgusting person to think, well, I have to be the vile person on here for people to like you. Yeah, some people do like vile, but the reality is that they're vile. And that's cool. If that's you, then be you. But don't be mad because people don't want to be with you, or people don't be around you, or people don't want to do anything with you. Don't be mad then, because that's a consequence too that you have to come to grips with. Because when you do shit, there's consequences. When you're conniving, nasty, or behind the scenes, orchestrating shit and trying to act like, oh, my hands is clean, I didn't do nothing, and it comes out that you're all in the shit. That's you. That is you. Now, forgive me for always trying to be the bigger person or the adult in the room, to even if it sounded a little messy or it sounded like, oh, you was meaning this, to just be like, hey, get the hell out of Dodge. Or, hey, if you could do this for this person, cool, I would appreciate that. Now, whatever else happens, that's not my business. It is not my business, nor is it my concern, because I'm not your man, nor your woman, nor your whatever, because we weren't together. So if you wanted to suck a little meat or get mad because this one was talking about me, but I wasn't, that's on your bit. That's on you. I had no control over that. All I can say is my piece, which is I didn't, with all due respect, it just looked the way it looked, and I was reaching out to somebody I knew. That's it. Or to say, hey, I saw that somebody I watch was stranded, and it was like, oh, he's not that far. Let me reach out and see what I can do. Now, whether you was planning to already do it and suck a little meat, that's your business. Again, it ain't got nothing to do with me. They got nothing to do with me. But it's mighty funny how when situations come where this person is involved because he's been talking to all these different people, that's why I see the difference about me. I don't run my mouth. There's plenty of things I know, see, and I know for a fact, because if I was to drop T and expose motherfuckers, this shit will be all of shut down. And people be like, oh, they didn't send you that? Yeah, I got that too. But that's not that's not what I do. It's not even me as a person. Trust and believe it. If you send it to me or you say it to me, it is what it is. I don't have no reason to sit here and go, oh, well, now since you talked about me, I'm going to talk about you. Y'all guys are small compared for me to even go back and forth with you all, to be truthfully honest. For what? Shits and giggles, clicks and views. That's for people, and not for all, but for some who this is it. This pays rent, bills, and all that kind of stuff. That I get. You gotta do salacious shit to make sure people are watching, to make sure people are clicking. Because if you don't do nothing salacious, honey, that eviction notice, that mortgage payment will go in default, that car note, all that shit will go in default, and you will be out on your ass. All of them. 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. But how many of asses you got? You will be out on all of them. So that part I get. But what I don't get is when it's just a hobby. It's just something you do to pass the time, to inform the people, to crack a joke. It's cool. It is what it is. But I'm not going to feel no type of way because people find me attractive, because I look good. Not going to find a way. Not going to find it some type of way because some people have seen something that other people that I never gave it to exposed certain parts of myself that you can go watch on my fucking Twitter for free, mind you, if I let you in. No, I'm not. Because it's the same shit I talk about almost the Fridays on, well, not every Friday, but, some Fridays on my nightcap. No. What the fuck for? And do I go around using my penis to allure people? The fuck no. I don't need my penis to allure people. I have a face.
Wait. You don't?
No, I don't. I don't. Because the first thing I show is definitely not that. So for the comment,
I don't know, I'm doing shit wrong then, because that's what I did. No,
well, for the comment that was left that, oh, you allure people with his penis, bitch, who the fuck do I have to allure with my penis? I have a face. Unlike you gremlin looking motherfuckers, I don't have to use that to allure a damn person. I have a face that I was born with. And cheekbones.
I was doing my shit wrong then.
Yeah. Backwards a little backwards, but it's okay. It's okay. We're here to learn.
But it worked for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It works for you. You got a ring on and everything, so it works for you. But I'm just, the reality is I don't have to live that life. I don't have to live that life. And I'm not going to live it because you deemed I should. Because you weren't attracted to it. So the fuck what? Who are you? The reality is, who are you? Because you think you cut this on and people praise you and say hi, that you hot shit? Nigga, please. You're bopping. Just like I bop, you bop. I mean, the truth is the truth. It is what it is. Cut the shit out. People always talking about, oh, their fashions. Bitch, you wear cut-off t-shirts. What fashions are we talking about? Because you make t-shirts? Okay. Do you use top quality t-shirts? Probably not. Walmart brand and just paste something on it. Whoop-de-doo. Who can do that? Everybody. Cut it out with the bullshit, people, please. But that's it. I'm done. I'm off. Yeah, so that's all I gotta say about that. Just get your shit together, people. I can't. Right. Who you his wife. That's what he learned. That's what he got.
No, there were others before.
But I mean that's who, that's who actually clanked on to it, who put a ring on it. Okay. And I'm not even I was gonna say that put a cock ring on it, but I wasn't going to. But yeah, people just do better, be better. I mean, it used to be fun when it was just cracking jokes and all that kind of stuff. The dark shit and places that a lot of these people go to now are pointless.
There's a lot of vitriol.
Yeah,
pick it up right from the back.
Yeah, and you're like, this person hates you for what? Why does this person hate you so much? I don't even know. Like, I could care less, really, why you hate me, because that's not for me to, what you think about me is none of my business. But the fact that other people who are watching can pick that up on you says a lot about you. And I'm just saying, like, come on. Cut the shit. So, all this kind of bowing down or make sure you hate the person because the other person hates the person bullshit. Come on, y'all. That's kids. That's kindergarten bullshit. Your fight don't have nothing to do with me. I can be neutral and stay out of, the thing. But again, everybody's different. If I disagree with whomever, I'm going to say, hey, I don't think you should have said that. But that's just my opinion. And I'm entitled to the shit. It's mine. You have yours and you're entitled to yours. But yours, your opinion ain't no much better than mine just because you happen to have more subscribers. Fuck your opinion. Just like you can say fuck mine. But I'm going to still give it. But you go through all of this to do what? To think you're going to make me run? Run from where and whom? I'm not running from none of you fat, ugly motherfuckers on here. That's a lie. When I cut this shit off, I'm going to cut it off because I want to cut it off. No sissified fat faggot. Well, sorry. My best friend hates when I use that word. But, yeah, gonna make me change anything about me. And that just irritated me. It really did. It really did irritate me that the usage of that young man's murder was made as a joke or something to be made fun of. Like, ridiculous. Ridiculous. Just, oh. And then the other stuff was just like, I've had enough. But Tariq, thank you. You're funny. No, you did not make me feel away. But you are very funny with your whatever. Your comments. That's all I'm gonna say. But anyway, but yeah, I'm done. That's it. Okay. Anything you want to say?
I'd like to take the opportunity to congratulate Pastor Nate on his 3,000 subscribers.
Oh, awesome! Wait a minute. Let's see if we got a little hand clap. Wait, where'd it go? Oh, no, that ain't it. That's news. Oh, okay. Well, Pastor Nate, congratulations. I can't find it. Right. Oh,
he was in earlier, but you were on a roll.
I know, I saw him. Congratulations, Pastor Nate, on your 3,000 subscribers for your, how do you say it? Your blessing in the mess, or bless in the mess, or something.
Bless in the mess.
Something like that. Something blessing in the mess, or mess in the blessing. Something like that. But congratulations on your 3,000 subscribers. It is not an easy task, but
no, not over here.
No, definitely.
But it gives you a lot of material.
Yeah.
Definitely gives you a lot of material.
Yeah. And thank you for giving the different insight of, even though things like that happen, they he even uses biblical references to kind of bring it to a spiritual,
ties everything together
to a spiritual thing. So congratulations to you, the Smart Show, Pastor Nate, not this Nate on here.
Oh no, because I talk about things.
Jesus Christ.
And things. See, I was being nice.
But yes. Yeah. So with that, congratulations to you and many more. Continue to subscribe and like to a lot of the content creators here. Welcome to everybody who just popped in the chat. I see Brother Lemon. Thank you for coming. It's always a pleasure to see you. Sometimes I'll be catching you and Sir King in your late nights, because I happen to be like waking up for the second time to be like, oh, these motherfuckers on. Hey, Queen Diva, how are you?
Hey, Queen Diva, how you doing?
Yes, Queen Diva. And you changed that picture. I was like, okay, Queen. She getting sexy on you. Talking about who's had a birthday? Me. Hey, Philly T, how are you? Nice to see you. But please make sure that you visit a lot of the content creators here. Not everybody, is fully on mess 24/7. We do have other things that we do talk about. Granted, yeah, we're all here for a form of entertainment some way or another. But at the end of the day, though, there are other things that are happening in our communities, in our areas, that we need to be knowledgeable and aware of. Because hey, this shit could turn off at any moment, any day.
Oh, could you imagine if that happened?
You know what I'm saying? What are these motherfuckers gonna do?
Oh my God!
Get a job?
They'll be jumping out the first floor basement windows.
Or joining the death mark on their floor. So let's see.
Oh, crazy. Oh, you're not gonna play it?
Play what? Which one?
Rita Philadelphia's comment.
Oh, I don't think it wouldn't. What you call it? I got a I could do it real quick. You're so.
I thought that was hilarious. I laughed my fucking ass off.
You did, and you kept laughing.
and laughed for a couple of days.
Did you?
Yeah, it was funny. I just thought it was funny as shit.
You again. And I had to say, talk and even named it. I said, who names it? Who names it? Who gives it its own name? Nobody but Nate. Let me do this real quick so it doesn't. I guess I could play it this way. Hold on. I could share it and play it. Let me just share it and play it so that way I don't have to download it again. Here we go. I may not play. Oh, I don't know if it'll play. No, it won't. I gotta download it anyway. Okay, give me 1 second. Ugh. Give me 1 second. Stop share. That's what it was doing the whole time, and then I was just like,
I don't know what's been going on, but
I don't know. But once I downloaded it, it was able to. I was able to
play it straight from Instagram.
No, it wouldn't. It would still give me. It
would still get that same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what that. I've been having problems with that for about a week now.
Yeah, I don't know.
At one point, I couldn't even play anything.
Yeah, most of the things you were sending me wouldn't and play, and then I was just like, okay, here it is. And then I was just like, what's going on? So I tried to figure out a way to work around it, and so, but I got some other stuff to show actually besides that, and then we can roll on out of here. Some other things that are funny, little clip things going on. But this, shout out to the Read the Heart of Philadelphia and her her homage to being in Kimmy's chat. And shout out to her for doing her thing. Granted, we could agree to disagree, so I don't agree with everything. But, if it's funny or if it's entertaining and watching, we're gonna watch, because that is what we do. But here's Read the Heart of Philadelphia doing what she does. Please don't flag me for this read, but we thought it was funny, so we'll share it. Okay, here we go.
Shot comes up, Cap. We found out Cap got a big old third party down there. Oh, it was some shit going on in that motherfucker live. I said, ooh. Now I see. No wonder you had what's the lady name in that club chat, Diva One, giving you a whole motherfucking how she gonna lay you down. They said Cat got a whole grown man between his legs. Yeah, I found that out over there too. That was some tea that was spilled. So don't be on here like Read a Freak. I'm just repeating what the fuck I heard. Okay, that's it. They said Cat got a whole grown ass motherfucking man, bitch, all the way down there. Okay. Yes. That's always at attention. I just threw that in there. I just thought that was cute, right? Sounds sexy, right? Yeah. So, hey, nah. So I finds that out. Yeah, today I'm telling you, they said he boom boom. They said that nigga got a whole midget down there. They thought that nigga had a midget down there. They ain't say who it was, but I think I know who it is, though. But I ain't gonna say that. That's y'all use your own motherfucking business. But they did say Cap is walking around with two people in one. So hey Tanya. So don't y'all little fresh old ladies be getting all like Diva One. But now y'all see why she was doing that. Okay? It is, wait a minute. It is in the chat who was group text with Bree and still trying. I don't think nobody, someone in the chat said me, and that's a mother. DODF said, fuck no, that ain't me. I ain't talking about that big dick, but shit, guess what? If that shit that big, that's definitely something to fucking talk about, because the way the fuck they were talking, like that shit was like a whole mother. They said that shit was like a fucking mentally retarded growth. Like that shit was like, wow. Cat, they said Cat, they said you got a heavy man. Boom. You can't go to Great Adventures unless you pay for two, nigga. I'm just saying. Now ODS said it ain't him. He said so before that even get the fuck there. Okay. Cat, like, okay. Cat, you bounce. Your homie could stay there. It's like, no, I'm playing. So it was
Now, see, Patty said the same thing. I said, does it have a name?
No, it doesn't have a name.
He got a conjoined twin. I was like, what's his name?
It doesn't have a name. I'm like, I have a twin. What are you talking about? I was so lost. Like, how are you talking about? I have a twin.
I know, that was so funny. I was like, hell no, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's why you don't text people. You need to have a audio conversation. Because I said, it just flew all over his head. It's like, I know you got a twin.
I'm constantly reading stuff and doing stuff. So when you sent me that, I was like, what? Oh, but you know this already. What are you talking about? He was like, no. I was like, oh, shut up. It's like, silly.
Full-grown midget.
Just a mess.
Oh, man. It was hilarious. I
was.
laughed. I
It
mean,
was.
I cackled.
I cracked up, except when I made that face for that one. I was like, the nigga please face. The nigga really nigga, that face. Cause yeah, you deserved every bit of that. Just keep your mouth closed. You wouldn't have looked stupid as you opened your mouth, but apparently you like to open your mouth. That's apparent. But anyway,
yeah, third leg, and when y'all went to the park, did you have to pay for two?
Yeah, Jada Richards.
That was funny. That was funny as hell to see. When you have shit that flows off like that,
right.
You just in that moment, and you on that roll. Oh man, she was dropping them left and right, and she laughing, and then when you laugh at yourself, it's like I know that's a fucked up shit I said, but it's funny as hell. Well, that's that dark side.
Well, that's why I would always have season tickets for Great Adventures. Okay, duh.
Yeah, that shit get expensive, don't it?
Yeah.
But then too, evidently it's tall enough that you can get on the adult ride.
I can ride all the rides, as Samore would say, ride all the rides. But yeah,
man, that was hilarious. Oh man, did I have a good laugh on that one?
Yeah, she is funny. She's very funny. She's definitely very hilarious when of course, when she's not dragging somebody for filth for some bullshit that they've done, but when she's just like being funny, being her natural self, she is very funny. And she's always been funny from day one. From the moment I dropped down in her chat, we've always been cordial. Now I always drop down if she's like really ripping somebody out, because people get sensitive. You was in somebody's chat. You was in the person's chat. Like, bitch, just saying hello as I do everybody. That don't mean that I agree with what they're saying because I drop down. I drop down just out of respect. I don't know what the fuck they talking about. It's just like, hey. It's like, oh, okay, you talking about that person. I ain't gonna say nothing else. But
yeah, but when you enter a room,
you speak. You say hello. Y'all the little scary. I'm just gonna sit back here. I ain't gonna say nothing because I don't want nobody to see me in their chat because then they gonna come for me. That's that old slave bullshit. that's that shit y'all gotta break the fuck out of. Ain't nothing.
You had to write that old slave bullshit. That's
what I'm saying. That's that slave mentality bullshit. Sound like somebody I know over there with new teeth. What's they say? Gorilla glue teeth? Oh God. That wasn't me. That was somebody else who said that. So don't even.
That look painful as shit.
It do.
How come they didn't fly on down to Puerto Rico or whatever when they make them mass produce them?
Because you can't afford that. That was too much money. You had to get the cheap sale.
Is that the ones you get from Amazon?
No, you had to get that.
Actually, sell that shit on Amazon.
No, you had to get the Instagram ad.
Instagram one.
You had to get.
Was that your do-it-yourself? They said you with the glue and all that stuff, the epoxy.
That was the buy here, pay here, like a car loan place. Buy here, pay here. T for payer. Just bloop. Don't let them start slipping. They might fall out, girl.
Yeah, what's the warranty? You get to buy a warranty on them?
I hope so. Hope they don't got that 5,000 miles. Hope they got more than that. You know how the rinky dink dealers be doing 5,000 miles. Bitch, it's gonna take me 5,000 miles to get out of this bitch. Whole week I didn't spend 5,000 miles. He said, "Oh, your warranty's up." Yeah, bitch, I ain't driving nowhere. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, Reed is really funny. Yeah, and it is what it is. We have to learn to laugh at ourselves. At all of it. Good, bad, or indifferent. But it's when people think that they can utilize what you have and what you've been through to make you feel a type of way. Bitch, you could never.
Is that the ice cream man?
No, that's the dryer. Those
I have the same one. Yeah.
Those of us who have modern electronics and appliances in our dwellings do not It makes noise. It sings. It doesn't just
Yeah, get all those tunes and everything.
right. You get all the
I was
noise.
like, God damn, Ice Cream Man, he
Late,
taking his life.
late.
I was like, I thought it was out here. I was like, this motherfucker, I know he taking his life in his hands.
All right, what's going on, Mr. YouTube Streets? How are you? Yeah, TV popped in like a jack in the box. Yeah, I mean, you know, and that's only because, again, like another one, talking shit. Like, if I ain't never done nothing to you, don't be talking shit in people chats. If I ain't never done nothing to you, because that's how you get got. That's just how you get got. It's not about you being there. I don't give a goddamn if you being there. It's when you start talking shit, because I got that notice too. Oh, I ain't even gonna. Whoa, I want to, but I'm not.
See, I ain't even talking you out of it. Go ahead.
No, because I don't want to. No, I'd rather not, because I don't like I like to watch slave narratives on movies. I don't like to watch them on YouTube. So,
what's a lot over here?
Yeah,
it's like roots.
It's
like roots in this bitch sometimes.
The Roots extended edition. I ain't never. You ain't gonna diss. You ain't gonna something. My good name. What word was that? I know she tried to say malign, but it was something else. It was something that I was just like, what word is that? That's a new one. And you over there with all them scholars, they couldn't tell you a word to use that would help you. I'm just saying. Don't make sense. The math ain't mapping. I'm just saying. The math ain't mapping. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's it. That's all I got. That is really all I got. And that's funny because I get to a point where I just like had enough, and then it all comes out. And people like,
yeah, that's why I just say
I like it. I like it when you're like this. I don't like being like this, but I get to a point in my cancer where it just like fills up enough to it's like, okay, I've had enough. I've had enough. Because what you not
you have to vent. You have to vent it.
Yeah, because what you're not going to do is think this kindness is weakness, because it's not. Just because I don't immediately come out and say, dismurfify, or whatever the fuck that is. You ain't going to dismurfify my good name, bitch. What good name? You messed that up a long time ago for the people who actually have watched. You know, and again, all this dealing with a self-esteem and esteem for your motherfucking self. That you could sit around somebody who actually gave you a name gator crop that other people use on you. It's all right to forgive people and you know, kind of move forward. But do you really forgive somebody that continuously puts you in a place where you feel like you're being attacked? Like as they're attacking you, they drop down in the chat to be like, hey, how you doing? But that's supposed to be your good friend. Come on, good friends don't do that. That's something that good friends don't do. Content creators that don't really, you know, I respect you as a content creator, but we ain't friends like that. They do that. Not good Judy's. No, they don't do that. But you don't really know what good friendship is. And when people try to show people that, they, you know, because they've never had it, they don't know how to treat it. But what you have is not good friendship. But I'm glad, you know, one thing I could say about me and my life and even the God I serve, that when things, because I'm a giving person, I'm a friendly person, I don't have any hangups with people. But when things happen, God will instantly remove them. And sometimes I'll be questioning, why you do that? And then something will pop up and it go, bam, this is why. And I go, oh, got it, duly noted. And at first I didn't quite get it. I was like, well, what's this about? Why this? Because even when people told me, people that didn't even know them, you know, were just supporting me and watching the interaction was like, don't do it. Watch it. And I'm like, why? Like, what do you see? Don't do it. And I'm just like, no, I give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm not the one to immediately judge or think that something negative is going to happen. And when it did, it was like, oh, okay. I don't know what this is. This is weird. Why? And then when it all came, it was like, oh, got it. And sometimes we have to, sometimes that has to happen for us to get it. Because we don't, I know myself, I don't wish for people to always be negative. That's not my thing. I don't look for people to always be negative or always think negative about situations. I'm the one that tries to at least be the most optimistic about it, that maybe, it won't be the way that it could possibly be. I'm not ever oblivious to it being negative, but that's not my go-to. So when it shows itself, it's like, oh, well, I mean, there's a possibility you could have went that way, but I was hoping not so. But you live and you learn.
Matt, you will.
Yeah, that you will.
That
But it won't.
will.
But again, it won't stop me from developing relationships with other people because of that situation. It's just it wasn't a fit. Not for me, and it could be a fit for others, and that's cool. And I'm not here to knock that, but it just wasn't a fit for me. But I'm not gonna stop being me because you didn't fit. You just didn't fit me.
Mm-hmm.
And it is what it is. Everybody's not going to sit here in jail. We all not going to sit here in kumbaya. But what you're not going to do is sit here and talk some dumb shit about some history that we are still struggling with today when kids are out here dying. You got Tamir Rice being shot to death, and you think you're going to crack a joke like it's funny. And anybody who sat there and laughed at it should be ashamed of themselves, because this shit could happen to your child, your son, your nephew, your grandson. And then what, you want somebody to sit there and crack a joke about it too and think it's funny? Like, grow the fuck up, people. Grow the fuck up. The shit ain't funny. The shit ain't funny. Ain't nothing funny about it. I mean, if he had kids, maybe he would really understand. But when you're doing it for a check and not doing it for the love, there's a difference in your actions. And that's a note from the GED section, of the not GED section, but the GED section, as D.L. Hughley would say. But anyway.
Sometimes we just have to learn. We have to learn how to censor ourselves.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You do. This whole, it's the beef sector, anything goes, that's bullshit. That's unadulterated foolishness. When at the end of the day, the reality is, do you own YouTube? No. Who owns YouTube? I'll wait. Anybody that look like you own YouTube? No. So when you think about it in the dichotomy of who owns YouTube, who's looking at you? Them, right. And if they allow you to have free reign and act how you want to act, and you sit there and act like that, what are you proving to them? I'll wait. I ain't even going to say it because I don't need to. Because you're proving to them that you act exactly what they think you are. I don't all that. But you quickly on the 22nd, 23rd, whatever that day is, that the check, you check your account, don't you? Right. So you're beholden to it. So come on. You live check to check just like any other motherfucker. Even with the extra disability and shit you get, you use that too. So get the fuck out of here. And that goes for you.
It's all money.
This is what I'm saying, right? It's all money. Granted, you talking about somebody else, but you the one utilizing it. You in the spectrum, bitch. Anytime you have a debilitating disease, bitch, you are it. I don't care if you
who isn't
cleared and you get to move on. You are still on that spectrum. At any moment, that shit could hit you. You could go back to that 6-month thing and it go, well, sorry to tell you, it has returned. You're back on the spectrum. So don't think that you any better than anybody else, bitch. You could be in a wheelchair tomorrow. And what that mean? I'm going to be the flyest diva in it. Bitch, please, you wish. You ain't the flyest diva.
It's time for you to go.
You ain't the flyest. You ain't the flyest diva on two legs. You ain't gonna be the flyest diva in Hot Wheels.
Oh my goodness.
So bitch, get it together. But anyway, that's it. I'm done. It was the food. I was deprived of food.
Is that what happens when you get hungry?
Yes, it really does.
God damn.
It really does. I need a Snickers.
Feed this motherfucker. God damn.
Yeah, it really does happen when I get hungry.
Did you have one more clip?
Yeah, I have to. Okay. So I'm gonna play these clips. I'm gonna shut my mouth. I'm gonna play these clips so you guys can enjoy. Sorry.
Let you get this hungry.
So we're heading back to hand air dryers for this episode of How Germy Is It? After seeing the results from the last time, I wanted to do this experiment again and do one control to simulate shaking my hands dry. And that should do it. Then I went to a couple more locations to solidify my findings.
That is scary as shit.
It is. It is. Ladies and gentlemen, wave your hands at the don't be using them dryers thinking you're that heat.
Yeah, because
all that heat is doing is cooking your germs.
Cooking them germs, and remember that air recycling is using that air in the restrooms, especially in the men's room, because men stand up to urinate. And
right. All that splash and backsplash.
Yeah, you always wonder why your bathroom smells pissy.
Right.
Especially if you got boys in the house.
Ugh.
I used to tell them straight up, no, y'all need to sit down.
You sit down and pee.
You sit down, except for when you got morning wood or afternoon wood or evening wood.
Just tuck it. Some of you know
sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can't. It all depends on how your bowl is.
No, you can't.
Because it ain't nothing like hitting the head on the cold porcelain.
Or dipping it in the water.
That's why your bathroom smells pissy.
Yes,
because it splashes.
Splashing back. The force. Mm-hmm. Let the force be with you. But here's another one. Gross. And check this one out.
Homecoming face. I'm frying his ass. His deep fried Oreo head ass.
I said, when I put one of them in a frying pan, they ass gonna burn.
What'd you stop? Sorry. So granted, child, this is why children shouldn't have children, but
no, why does it give me I smell piss again?
Yeah, I smell piss, I smell shit, I smell all types of like
I can smell those kids and they all
yes, they
where
smell
your mama, wear your shoes.
2 days, dirty diapers, you smell like outside 2 days in a row.
And feet black as asphalt.
Yes. But
where your mama?
That's learned behavior. That's children taking care of children and all that kind of mess. But we would be up in arms if that police officer would have handled that child a different way.
He said, "Yeah, get roasted by a 2-year-old." That little boy's mouth was
horrible.
Yeah,
it was
something else.
Like you clearly learned that. All right, I think this is the last one. I think. Oh no, it's next to the last one. All right, how about this one?
Put your shoes on, because I'm about to go outside and fight, and this girl, she has a daughter too, and I'm gonna need you to fight her. All right?
Okay, I'm gonna fight with you.
Okay, let's go.
Put your shoes on, because I gotta go fight someone's Thea. So I need you to come with me in case you have to fight her nephew, okay?
I can't.
Why not?
Today?
Yeah. Is that okay?
Is it no?
No, I have to fight someone's Thea.
This Thea?
No, someone else's Thea.
Someone else's Thea?
Yeah. So I need you to help me fight in case she brings her nephew. I need you to fight him.
I can't.
He ain't trying to go.
Because I need to go to Target.
I need you to put your shoes on. I need you to put your shoes on. I'm finna go beat up this girl, and if her daughter jump in, I need you to handle her daughter. Let's go. Put your shoes on.
That's right. Don't say no questions. Just tie up their hair. Let's go. Where we going? That's right. Ponytail, let's go.
Sonali, I need you to go put your shoes on right now.
Why?
Because I'm about to go fight somebody, and I need you to fight their daughter if I'm fighting somebody. Come on.
Put your shoes on now.
Why?
Because I'm gonna go girl, and if her son comes out, I need you to fight him.
Okay.
Brax, get your shoes on.
Yes.
Because I'm going to fight this guy, and he has a son, so if the son steps in, you gotta fight him. Come on. I'm going to fight this guy, and he has a son, so if the son steps in, you gotta fight him.
No.
What do you mean, no? Huh?
No.
Go get your shoes on. Because this kid is trying to beat me up outside, and we gotta go fight. Go get your shoes.
Oh my God.
Yes, put your shoes on. Come on.
Hey, Jesus.
Are you gonna fight?
Yes.
Are you scared?
No.
You gonna win?
Yes.
You excited?
Get your shoes on, G.
This your first fight?
I know what you're doing.
What?
You joking.
I'm not joking.
Come on, then. Let me see you.
Ooh, y'all ready?
Oh, you said that was too cute.
I said he ready.
Yeah, he was. She was, you excited? He didn't want to be like, yeah, I was no.
Even had the baby run around looking for her shoes.
Right. Right. So we want to fuck some shit up. One of my friends on Snapchat, he did it with his son, and his daughters were recording. It was the funniest thing ever. He was like, "Yeah, and go get your bat." So he came down the bat and then the little samurai sword thing he got. He's ready to fuck some shit up. He was like, he had to grab his son like, "I was just playing.
Oh no, he was ready.
He was ready to fuck some shit up for his father. I thought that was awesome.
Did you see the little white kids? The little boy, his father was asking him, had the yellow shirt on. Did you see the look on his face? Like stuff was clicking in his brain. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, Dad?
Fight? Why are we fighting?
Fight? I'm right in the middle of my game.
Right? Like, you go fight him. That's not
nah, man.
Yeah, right.
Y'all go get a beer. That's how he had that look on his face. Y'all have a drink. Y'all be all right.
Right.
I think you drag me into something.
Not at all. All right, and this last one is the challenge. Whatever this challenge is, I have no idea. But maybe somebody can tell me.
Yeah, please.
Oh fuck. Now that sounded a little bit like
You know what? Run that one again.
Yeah. Oh fuck. Yeah, it's what I suspected.
What? What?
No comment.
No, you gotta comment. People don't know.
Just what I suspected.
What did you suspect?
Optimus Prime.
Oh, you know what? Good night, everybody. Yeah, about ass blacklisted. Because that's the first thing I said. I was like, wait a minute.
Right, get the moves like, I was like, where did the man come from? I said, oh.
Yeah. But I'm trying to figure out what the fuck was the what was the
challenge? I don't know. Maybe it was the fire breathing. I don't know. But I'm just like it's dumb shit.
But with hairspray?
Yeah, well.
But I looked at the back of the headboard of her bed. She had nothing but hair, a bunch of hair products.
Because you're supposed to spit it out or something like the liquid.
Oh, but she inhaled it.
Yeah, and they should run
Well,
straight.
her voice was already deep. Wink, wink.
Right. This is what I'm saying.
That motherfucker was a fucking bass by the time she got finished with that shit. Her shit was deeper than mine. And I was like, that was a little girl.
She had that dragon voice.
Little girl.
It's like, girl.
It was enough to blow her ass back on that bed. That should have set that bitch on fire.
Like the dude from last week with the fireworks. The mama, yes. I didn't know. Bitch, you set fireworks off in the fucking house. What the fuck you thought was gonna happen?
When he lit it, and
that's
you saw the stupid look on his face, that's when he realized he fucked up. That's what it was.
But nothing told you to douse water on it when you saw it light up like that and start spinning around.
Nobody told you to light it on your bed. Fireworks on your bed.
Ridiculous. Just dumb. Retarded.
Yeah, well, I'm on fire though. But the flame blew her back on that bed. And she said she had some demons in her when she came back up. I was like, whoa.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of playing Street Fighter as a kid. With Indian, the Haslam or whatever. Yeah. Uga flame, just she's like, back up. That's what it reminded me of. But yeah, that was ridiculous. Whatever challenge that is, yes. Yoga flame, yes. Whatever challenge that is, please do not do it. Don't try it.
Please. You have to tell the adults here not to do shit, okay?
This is for educational purposes only. That do not do this shit. The Haslam, yes. Do not do this shit, right? So like let's do Sesame Street for the day, okay? Since we on the theme of Sesame Street. So when we don't stick cucumbers up our back members, okay? For today, we don't stick cucumbers. It's for salad. It's for pickling. It's for juicing. It is not for sticking. Okay?
Not for insertion.
Yeah, go to the store, stop being cheap, and get
without
yourself
lubrication. Because if it had lube, he'd have been able to push that bitch out.
With or without, it is a vegetable, fruit, whatever the hell it is.
Vegetables are for eating, not for inserting.
Do not stick it up your U-Haul. What you need to do is go to the store, get yourself a silicone thingamabob, whatever actor you prefer, and utilize that. That's what it's for. Stop being cheap. Spend that $30 and go to the store. Stop trying to spend that $1.25.
Recycle. It lasts forever.
Going to the Walmart and wherever you go to get them old long nasty ones in the plastic. Stop being cheap. Just spend your money. Okay, this way you ain't got to worry about it. You can put it in the dishwasher, wash it like the rest of your dishes.
Yeah.
You ain't got to worry about it.
You forget leave that sitting in the tray.
Well, I mean, at least you know it's clean. You ain't got to worry about it going soft on you and then bending and then it gets stuck in there.
It'll probably get ruined with the hot water.
Well, I'm just saying. Please make sure that you go out and buy one.
Yeah, proper tools for the proper job.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it.
Tool time shit.
That's it. Tool time.
Proper shit.
And that was brought to you by the letters.
Unreal.
But no, seriously.
Patty, I'm too clumsy.
not you too clumsy. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Think about what happened to Bess.
She paralyzed.
Lord.
She paralyzed, girl. Paralyzed.
Oh God. Motorized. We call you Hot Wheels for real. Use food if you want to get. Oh, okay. By your local doctor. Damn. Okay. I guess that doctor got to be pretty hungry. I don't know. But yeah, please make sure that you are just going out to buy the proper tools for the proper job, and not, I know times is hard and inflation is, a motherfucker, but please leave the vegetables in.
And always size up.
Apartment.
I don't know why women always just buy.
Well, I mean, that wasn't
like little lipsticks and stuff like that. But always size up. You could always go larger.
That was a man. So I don't know how
you can always go larger.
I don't know how we rectify that. No pun intended.
Oh, rectify. Nice choice of words.
No pun intended. Yeah, but I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, definitely. To light yourself on fire. Yeah, right. And also, do not light yourself on fire. That is not something that we are, promoting.
All that synthetic hair. I was surprised that was the 3rd-degree burn.
That's what I'm saying. And with a lot of you beautiful women out there, y'all have a lot of these wigs, either from the Valero or Babe Nation or wherever hair you get your hair from, where you be like, I feel like a Puerto Rico. I feel like a Puerto Rico. Please don't light your shit on fire. Don't follow these motherfuckers, because you will find yourself.
Because I don't want to be in somebody's chat here. Throw some hearts up for. 4th-degree scalp burn.
The fuck up. Okay, looking like
Ghost Rider. Right.
Looking like Ghost Rider. Burnt the fuck up. Riding around in your Harley. Get the chain. We don't want that for anybody. So please make sure that as adults, unfortunately, we have to tell adults, don't do dumb shit. But please don't
jump up in the doorway, okay?
That's it. So yeah, wear your mask. Continue to keep yourself guarded. Keep your head on the swivel. Watch out for the monkeypox and the 19 pox and the variant, the Omarion, the whatever is moving and shaking, going on, because it's still out here. Although we're vacationing and having a good time, know that the shit is still out here. So kind of keep your distance if you can, and use your hand sanitizer. Not all the time. Make sure you're still washing your goddamn hands with soap and water. And
prayers up to Texas.
Vote. If your primary elections have come to your state, which they should be coming soon. If they haven't come today, then make sure you go out and vote. Let your voice be heard. And even if your candidate doesn't win, you still participated in the process, and that's all that matters.
I know, Patty. I know. I was watching that.
You said what? 3 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours. Patty, look at his eyes. That boy just as high. He ain't even tracking.
I know. I ain't never done this long. Ever. Ever. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out. I am tired and everything. I think it's because I kind of caught up on my sleep too, because all weekend we were just up drinking and just having fun. I needed 2 days to kind of
nice relaxing weekend.
Yeah, definitely did. Was having fun. But yeah, great. It was fun having you guys. Thank you guys for sticking out with me for 3 whole hours, just about.
The therapy session.
Right, the therapy session of letting it purge all out. Because trust and believe you won't get another response out of me for a while.
The lies you tell. It'll be next week. Hey, Patty. Next week he'll be sitting there. He'll be half naked again because I might have pissed him off.
No.
Good night, everybody. Everybody stay safe.
I won't. But on that note, seriously, everybody have a blessed night. Be safe, and until next week, be safe and do your thing. And remember, suicide hotline 988 is the new number for the suicide hotline. Is 988. So I know I have to probably change my ending, but just so you know, if there's ever someone
that's right. You should put it on there.
Come in contact with that may need assistance, And look out for your friends. You know, always, sometimes your strong friends are not your strongest friends. So always make sure that we're checking on one another, as a village does. All right. So with that, have a good night. Peace. Any parting words?
Night.
Okay. Good night.
Take care.
All right. Take care and peace, everybody.